Last year, UMass and Bowling Green combined for an astounding 89 points. Coming into today, the Falcons' dynamic duo Matt Johnson and Roger Lewis lead the nation in passing and receiving. As for UMass, there's quarterback Blake Fronapple and wide receiver Tajay Sharp. They're equally as good. Coming up next, a whole lot of offense. Welcome to the Mid-American Conference in Week 6 of college football on the road to the National Championship in Glendale, Arizona in January of 2016. Let us refresh your memory. Back to 2014, Bowling Green wins in a Western shootout in the Eastern Division, 47-42. 11 different players score, 8 touchdown passes combined thrown, and 200 plays for the line of scrimmage. Greetings, Jim Barber and John Gregory, who start at Marshall. Is there any reason to believe, John, we won't have a game as good as last year?
No, I don't think so. What you need to do is call home, tell the wife and daughter you're going to be a little late tonight, because if it goes anything like last year, 4.5 hours, we may get the same thing today.
All right, my partner's got something in common with UMass's starting quarterback. That's Marshall, right?
Yeah, we had an opportunity to see each other at Marshall, being former quarterbacks there. I was in a quarterback meeting with them. This guy's a tremendous player, but he's also a great guy, too, so looking forward to seeing him play for UMass.
All right, when you match up the two quarterbacks, is there an advantage to either?
Well, both of these guys are so tremendous. You look at the numbers, you can throw out the numbers. Both of these teams are going to score a lot of points. Blake Fronapple, he's a natural leader. Second year in this system, so he's gotten a lot better from that. He understands what Coach Whipple wants out of this system, so that makes him a bigger threat this year. For Bowling Green, Matt Johnson, so efficient with the football. 48 touchdowns in 19 starts. He throws the deep ball as good as anyone out there. 4 straight games of 400 yards passing. Both of these guys will throw a lot of numbers up today. We're going to see the ball all over the ballpark.
And when you watch Fronapple in action, they say the moving pocket and him moving with it much more effective this year than last.
Yeah, and it's that 1 year in the system. Coach Whipple has said that. He's able to control the pass protections, do a little bit more of that. And because of that, he's controlled the offense and even shown more leadership, if you can believe it.
And from the other side, Matt Johnson replaces a guy that last year threw a number of touchdowns in this game, and he's only the leader in the country now.
Yeah, that's right. This guy wasn't even starting last year, was able to win that job during camp. It was opened up. Both guys had the opportunity, but Matt Johnson stepped up, and boy, he's number 1 in the country in yards. You watch him. He's got all day to throw the football, and when he does, he's very dangerous getting the ball down the field.
All right, John mentioned it. Fasten your seatbelt. We could be in for a wild ride here on ESPN3. You're looking at the ever-stoic head coach of UMass, his second stint, 8 seasons overall, record there 53-38. And this is the son of the mad scientist, Art Briles of Baylor. That's Dino Babers, who brought this offense to the Midwest, Baylor style, and you'll have a lot of fun watching it today if you have not viewed it yet. Scott Miller's 21 and 44 is Donovan Wilson. They are deep to take the kick from Blake Lucas. Road uniforms with UMass in the white and the orange, and this is a sea of orange today at Bowling Green, belongs to the Falcons. All right, John, let's see how much your prediction of 4.5 hours or more.
I was going to give you the over-under of 1,000 yards or 4 hours, one way or the other. See which way you took.
This should be a lot of fun, and we're pleased to have you with us wherever you're viewing this afternoon. Lucas into the ball, and it's coming down at the goal line, in fact, 5 yards in. And the Falcons wisely will keep it right there as Scott Miller downs it. And Bowling Green goes to work from its own 25 under the direction of Matt Johnson, starting quarterback this year, who won the position in camp over James Kanapke, and Johnson has not looked back, has he?
He certainly hasn't, and it was an injury really that kept him out last year, but just like Dino Babers said, is this game, that quarterback position was up for grabs. Either guy could take it. Johnson has taken hold of it and really has shined throughout this whole season.
They have co-offensive coordinators in Mike Lynch and Sean Lewis. On the first play from scrimmage, one of many completed passes to the near side, and that's to Chris Gallen, who has his 6th catch of the season. Bowling Green would like to run 100 plays. That's the goal of every game. Of course, the ultimate goal is to win. On 2nd down, back to Gallen again, who breaks a tackle, and he'll be about a yard short.
I mentioned earlier, one of the reasons Matt Johnson does not get hit very often is because he can get the ball, get rid of it pretty quickly into a guy in Roger Lewis, a tremendous wide receiver, great numbers. We'll talk about him. And for UMass on the defensive side, Santos Knox, the linebacker, the true leader of this team, not only vocally, but this guy does it on the field defensively.
He's got a terrific amount of energy, a great motor. It is 3rd and 1. Defense in tight in a run defensive set. And before the play goes, time called by Bowling Green.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Mark Kluzinski is our referee. The umpire is Tony Smith. Rudy Studd is the head linesman. Side judge Lewis Garrison. Line judge John Swartz. Field judge Kevin Sullivan. Back judge is Thomas Riepenhoff. And our center judge, Dan Novak. And the center judge is that new position that's been added this year, an 8th official, John, to the games. And have you seen that center judge come into play here in the first month or so of action?
Yeah, you've seen it, and maybe that's why some of these games are going 3.5 hours. There's another guy in there to be able to keep his eyes on guys in the holding position doing some things like that. So we'll see the ball thrown so much through the air today. Really, officials can call holding on any given play, it seems like, out there, but we're getting a little bit more of it. Maybe it's that extra guy, and got to lace up the shoes today. Even offensive linemen have to be in great shape in this particular game.
They're going to be real busy today, that's for sure. Here's a 5th-year senior quarterback set on 3rd and 1. Single set back. They'll run for the first down. That's Travis Green carrying the football, should have enough. Green is the stalwart of this offense in last year. Carried the ball against UMass 20 times for 110 yards and a couple of scores.
And one thing, when you look at this offense, everybody talks about throwing the ball down the field, but Baber says he'd like to have a 1,000-yard rusher.
Here's Green running for a first down into UMass territory to the 48. Kelton Brackett able to stop him from going any further. That's a pickup of 14. Last year was Bowling Green's ability to run the football and UMass's inability to do that decided the game. And right now that front line is busting some holes for Green, who on that play picks up 8.
Well, that offensive
Number
line,
60, Massachusetts, lost his helmet on the play. He must leave the game for 1 down. Number 60.
Every single game last year, started every game, and they all come back attack this year. That's why he has so much time to throw the football. Matt Johnson and Travis Green able to run it.
Green stopped near the sticks. He's been called by his coaching staff a football savant. And that praise is probably as good as it gets as you take a look at 8 Huber of UMass trying to halt this drive before it gets out of hand. Shane Huber's the backup inside linebacker. Johnson throwing down the field looking for 6. There's contact. And there's going to be a penalty flag coming up. Kelton Brackett, who made a tackle moments ago, is going to be guilty of pass interference, as this was intended for Dieter.
You know, a lot of comparisons to Russell Wilson when you talk about Matt Johnson at the quarterback position. And one thing they can compare it to is the quarterback at Green Bay. You know, when they're off sides and he knows it, he's going to take advantage.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside, defense number 25. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense number 1. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Only makes sense that the quarterback does shoot for 6 points when he's got a free play.
Yeah, he knew he had it, and anytime he gets that, he's going to try to go up top and get his receiver, and because he does that, he gets a pass interference call. In the NFL, that's on the 1-yard line. Here, he gets 15 yards.
1st and 10, now deep into UMass territory. Johnson will keep the football, may have picked up a couple of yards. Matt Johnson, who hails out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, last week was 23 for 29. That's almost 80%, John. 324 yards in a driving rain in Buffalo.
Yeah, cold weather, too. A cold rain.
2nd and 8, opening drive of the football game, no score. This drive started from the Bowling Green 25, and there's Green into that second line of defense and almost to the goal line. Travis Green picks up 22. It is 1st and goal for Bowling Green.
And these guys are going to work quick to go to the line. Once they get a defense down and kind of on some skates, as they call it, they're going to continue to come after you quickly.
Back to Green, trying to find the goal line, but he gets stood up before he can get even close. Shane Huber was over to help out, number 8. Starting offensive linebacker back in 2013 for this team. He's had to play through some injuries. So Green comes out on 2nd down.
They bring in Donovan Wilson. He's the big back, a guy that they consider, he was a fullback at Georgia Tech, transferred here. And when they get this position, they also brought in 2 offensive linemen for the power game.
J.J. Began, 77, is in for that. A tough assignment today for Tom Masella and the UMass defense. Masella is the defensive
Please reset the
coordinator.
game clock to 11:52. 11:52.
So Began's in the backfield. He's 298 pounds. Wilson's
Thank you.
in the backfield.
It will start
He's
on my
230.
signal.
Oh, you got a tight end back there too, Derek Lee at 260. That's the power attack, right?
Heavy.
Very
heavy formation.
Yep. 2nd man through, but right now UMass is making a solid goal line stand. In the middle of that picture on the stop of Wilson, Randall Jett and Kason Messiah. Now it is 3rd and goal. So try the middle of that line. You failed twice. What's your call here?
Well, you're going to have to run the football too. You got your big guys in here. If not, you got the ability for Johnson with his athletic ability to kind of roll out.
He's rolling out there and throwing for a touchdown. Pretty effective misdirection, and he finds the tight end, Derek Lee. His 2nd touchdown of the season, and the Falcons score first.
Great play call here. As you mentioned before, you have your what you call your heavy group in there, your lineman. You're bringing in an extra lineman, a fullback. Great opportunity to roll a quarterback out with Matt Johnson's athletic ability. Gives him a run-pass option and an easy throw to Derek Lee, the tight end.
Tyler Tate on for the 7th point. And Bowling Green on an opening drive that went 75 yards in a shade under 4 minutes. Draws the first blood. Travis Green set it up with a 22-yard scamper, and then it's quarterback to tight end to finish it off. Dino Baber's offensive line has 150 career starts. And that's a look at the group. And in fact, this group has already lost some 150 pounds coming in, and we'll get into that momentarily. Tyler Tate to kick off. Bowling Green leading 7-0. Let's see if UMass can answer that 75-yard drive, and they'll start this possession from the Minutemen 25-yard line. Jim Barber, John Gregory, 7-0 score moments in, and all right, UMass now has to try to match what we saw by the Falcons in their starting offense.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if they take the opportunity to go down the field and score too. As mentioned last year, 200 plays between each of these teams, and good opportunity here to see Blake Frohnapple as he comes out for the first time.
Frohnapple, starting quarterback, very good with pace and very good right now with that moving pocket we talked about. Playing the college game, according to his head coach, Mark Whipple, at a higher level. See kind of the pressure that Bowling Green brings. Frohnapple to Tajay Sharp. Makes a nice spin move up to the 38. That's a pickup of 13. That's a first down where Clinton Stevens meets him. Tajay Sharp.
No surprise that he goes to Tajay Sharp. This guy one of the impact players on this team. Last week he was targeted 21 times in that ball game against Buffalo, had 15 catches.
Fronapple has to check down for a pickup of 3. Nobody open in that Bowling Green secondary. Stevens comes up to make the tackle on the catch to 83. Sharif Custis, who did not play last week in the win over Florida International. First down, Fronapple to the Bowling Green 43, and he's playing pitch and catch, just like his counterpart did. This time hitting 33 Mills with a completed pass.
And that's a great sign for UMass fans to see Rodney Mills out there as you see him coming off the field now. Questionable whether he was going to be in this ball game or not. He's a tight end that they listed was a back, came back, and because Fronapple has another weapon in Mills, that makes him more dangerous. But Mills is the guy they need in this lineup really to spread the ball around even more.
Good point. He's also a good runner to have in on a power formation at the goal line. He can play either fullback or tight end. Fronapple stepping up again, checking down. Sharp with the catch, just inside the 40. Think about Blake Fronapple. He's not finding much open down the field, so he's going underneath.
Yeah, just going to take what they give him right now, not try to force it down. It's early in the ball game, no need to. If they're going to give you 3, 4, 5 yards, you might as well take them, and that Coach Whipple will take that all day.
2nd and 6, again, a toss out of the backfield. And after a couple of misses, a first down to the 28-yard line. So Jamal Wilson with a catch and run for first down, and here come the Minutemen.
No, and if you're going to play in this offense as a running back, you better be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Jamal Wilson has 11. That's his 12th catch of the year.
Wilson releases. This time they shoot it down the field toward the far sidelines, incomplete. And a rare stoppage in play, I might add, 2nd and 10.
You know, we thought Bowling Green was up-tempo. You talk about Art Briles and the Baylor offense. It has nothing on this UMass team. They want to throw. If you're going to put up 100 plays, they want to do the same thing.
Dino Babers was saying about Mark Whipple, he's an NFL kind of guy, that he throws the ball to set up the run and not the other way around that you'll see often in college football. Wilson on the carry, Hardy on the stop.
And that's typical of what you'll see when you talk about NFL offenses. You whiff on the first play, throw an incompletion. You're typically going to run it on 2nd down and make it 3rd and manageable.
This time Fronapple goes with an empty backfield. Needs to pick up 3 for the first down. Contact at the 5-yard line, penalty flag coming down. As we saw on the other end, secondary with a penalty to help the Bowling Green drive, and now, unfortunately for the Minutemen, they return the favor.
And they may get Hardy on holding on this time. It looked like he was by him, and he clearly grabbed him that time, and the official caught him.
Holding. Defense number 4. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Watch Hardy here in your screen. He grabs him. It's a great shot of it right there. Nice throw by Fronapple. Had he not grabbed him, it was probably a touchdown. So sometimes you're willing to give up the 15 yards and get that holding call against you versus giving up the touchdown. So although Hardy was called on it, it may have been a pretty good play on his part.
So it is 1st and 10, now the Bowling Green 12. Like the Falcons, the Minutemen started their drive at the 25. This time Fronapple over center. On play action, looking toward the end zone and throwing, incomplete. Intended for Tajay Sharp is Clinton Stevens. Back defending, he's the outside corner. Already has a pick on the season. Dino Babers said he spent more time in the defensive meetings this week than usual. Another check down for Fronapple sets up another 3rd and manageable for UMass. So let's look ahead to a 3rd down play for the Minutemen, who have struggled in the red zone this year. What type of play might Whipple dial up?
Well, I think you probably put yourself in the same situation. You talk about how this pocket moves. He's got the whole right side. He can move to the right side and give that run play option to him. He's not a guy with quick feet as Johnson is, but he can run the football even at his size.
8 minutes remaining, first quarter. Frohnapple steps up, fires, incomplete. He had a receiver wide open in the end zone, and he missed him. That's intended for Markin Michelle. Won't see that happen very often.
No, and Blake Frohnapple, he knew once he threw this football, if you had the camera on him at that time, he was very upset with himself because he was wide open. Michelle frustrated too that he wasn't, and you could see Frohnapple in his background there. Not sure if he was frustrated with his throw or thought that maybe he should settle down a little bit.
Nick Barris the snap, Frohnapple to hold, Logan Laurent the kick from 23. Had a 48-yarder last week that would be good from 55. Kick is good. Minutemen have to settle for a field goal, but they get 3, and that won't be the last points we'll see today. But
no.
You figure every scoring drive is going to likely net something, as we're halfway through the first quarter at 7-3. And so what are your impressions of the first 2 drives?
Well, probably what we thought, and you can see Coach Whipple and Frohnapple talking about that throw right there. Just seems like Coach Mark Whipple's never really happy until maybe the ball game's over, and then he can rest a little bit. But either Blake Frohnapple threw that behind him thinking that, I said, his wide receiver may settle down in that hole right there. Maybe that's what they were talking about a bit. But as a quarterback, sometimes it gets a little frustrating when a coach is screaming at you when you know you made a bad throw. So
all right,
you want to get it back.
Put yourself in his place. How do you get through that then?
Well, you have to listen to you listen to the guy that's been there before. But I remember when my coach used to do that. I'd let it go. Maybe it was high or something. He'd tell me out on the field, you got to get it down. And wow, that's frustrating because you know it more than anybody else when you mess up a throw.
Absolutely. Scott Miller is deep along with Donovan Wilson. As Blake Lucas set to kick off for the second time today. Terrific day for college football in Bowling Green, Ohio. Mid-American Conference. And that one is out of bounds. That'll be a penalty flag against UMass and its kicking game, which at times has been suspect this year. And the Falcons get a good spot at the 35 to start this drive. Here's Mark Kluzinski once again.
Kickoff on the kicking team. By rule, the ball will be played at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10.
It's a steady diet of running back Travis Green on the first drive for Bowling Green. And Green is in the backfield along with his quarterback Matt Johnson on this series. Falcons are 3-2 for the season. UMass 1-3. Johnson on first down on the slant. Ball caught by Garrick Dieter. Now Dieter's got a brother named Nolan, and Garrick was named after Lou Garrick. Nolan after Nolan Ryan. I think Dad is Derek Dieter. Do you think there's any kind of baseball affection in that family? Here's Green, breaks another tackle and almost busted loose for more yards, but he gets the first down up to the 48. Travis Green, 11th in the country at running the football first in the conference.
And why not keep handing him the football? After that first drive, he had so much success. Keep giving him the football.
Gets it back. There's a penalty flag on the play. Green gets a couple. Could be against the offensive line of Bowling Green.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That is on the center, Tim McAuliffe. This offensive line with 150 starts coming into the game, and every starter starting a game last year, which was rare in college football, lost 150 pounds over this past year.
Yes.
We were talking to Dino Babers, the head coach, about that earlier this week. They said the diet was better. There was more cardio. They got in the Olympic machine, and as a group are slimmer and trimmer and tougher.
Well, they knew what they were facing after last year, and they thought, well, we might as well go ahead and do it right now because it's going to be another year like that, just throwing it all over and running up and down.
Lonnie Moore on the bubble screen catch. Kason Masai with a tackle. They do look a little leaner, don't they, John?
Don't they? Yeah. Look good in the orange.
That's an average of
It's
about 30 guys.
Look. Yeah, slimming color.
Here's Green picking up yet another first down for the Falcons as they reach Minutemen territory for the second time today. Sorry, that's not a first down. It's a pickup of 3 and brings us to a 3rd and 7.
seeing Green go to the wideout position that time, not afraid to go out there. He started his career first 2 years as a wide receiver and then moved to the running back position.
This is a 5-receiver package for Bowling Green. 4-man rush. Johnson steps up, fires a bullet, broken up. Nice defensive play by Kelton Brackett, who has been challenged today a lot. He's the other corner besides Randall Jett, who heads up the boundary on the opposite side.
Yeah, Jett may be the best defensive back, but Kelton Brackett doing a nice job there. He's a transfer from University of Alabama. Couple interceptions in his career. He's got some experience. That's what they like about him, and he got that experience at UAB and was able to take it to UMass.
Joe Davidson will punt for Bowling Green. Trey Dudley-Giles will receive for UMass. Fair catch, 18-yard line. So the Minutemen and their defense come through. That means Fronapple can go to work in a moment. A shade under 6 minutes for the opening quarter. 7-3 game here earlier this season. Bowling Green won Big Ten games on the road over Maryland and Purdue. So what did the folks here at the university do? Well, they came up with a t-shirt. It's the Big Ten deal. 48-27 and 35-28 with the finals. And oh, by the way, Bowling Green lost or beat a Purdue team that nearly beat Michigan State, ranked second in the country last week. By the way, John, you make a great close model. Win play resumes. Football at the Minutemen 23. So they got a defensive stand and now have the ball back. Settling for a 23-yard field goal on their first drive. Quarterback is Blake Fronapple. He was 32 for 42 last week, 363 yards, 3 scores. And down the middle of the field in the 40 for a pickup of 17 yards to find his favorite receiver, the senior out of New Jersey, Tajay Sharp.
Boy, how would you like to have 21 targets in a football game last week? You know, you just go in every week knowing that you're going to be the main guy, and no question about it, Mark Whipple will say, yes, he's our guy, and we're going to try to find him.
And in this series, John, Fronapple didn't get a chance to throw the football. Tripped up back at the 33 for a loss of 7. That's James Sanford, who had a career-best 13 tackles last week in Bowling Green's victory.
Find a way to get to the quarterback if you can in this ball game, and Sanford's one guy that can do that. Last week had 13 tackles.
Trying to set up the bubble screen on the outside. UMass does not get back to the original line of scrimmage as Michelle made the catch. And Austin Valdez, the middle linebacker, who had 13 tackles at Tennessee, makes the stop. So let's look at 3rd and 14 for UMass. You know Bowling Green's dropping guys in coverage. How do you get the first down?
Yeah, I don't know. You just got to find a spot here. More importantly than anything, you need time to throw the football to try to get this yardage.
Falcons will rush 4 on Fronapple. Throwing for the first down, and he got it to the 47-yard line. And a pickup of 16. That nearly was picked off, but Sharp able to make the catch. Stevens defending another first down for UMass, and that's already the 4th catch in the game for Tajay.
Now we asked Coach Whipple how many plays that they have in their playbook, and maybe 200 plays, he said, and 20 different passes, maybe each game they've added in there.
Astounding.
Well, how about that? Let's go a 15-yard curl for the first down, just enough to get past the sticks, and you can see the arm of Blake Fronapple that time as he fires it in there.
Did you have that many plays at Marshall?
We did a lot of reading.
Play action, Fronapple fakes it. He's sacked for the 2nd time today. Back at the 47-yard line by Terrence Bush. And for Bush, that's his 2nd sack of the season. So Fronapple's been under some duress here in this first quarter, which is reached under 4 minutes, and another look at the pressure.
Yeah, you could see he wanted to throw the curl to the wide side that time and decided to tuck the football, and if you do that, you're not going to have much time to throw it. You can see good pursuit that time from the outside as Bowling Green's defensive front is starting to twist. They're trying to get to him any way they can.
They'll run the football here to the outside. Jamal Wilson's been the principal runner so far. This time it's Marquise Young carrying as Trenton Green. Make sure he runs out of room on the far sidelines. Keep that Trenton Green. Trenton averages 10 tackles a game. That's 5th best in the Mid-American Conference. This is 3rd and 13. Another strike very close to the sticks and may very well be enough for the first down. This time teaming up with Sharif Custis. Tyler Hardy makes the tackle, but he got just enough for another UMass first down.
Boy, and they know exactly where that first down marker is. They get there just a yard over it, and Frohnapple twice now has delivered strikes to be able to move the chains.
Frohnapple again releases to his backfield. Bowling Green's done a nice job of covering that, but on this play, several broken tackles will allow for a pickup of 9 yards. So Libby on the catch, and they're unable to bring him down. It's Andrews' first catch of this game, the sophomore out of Maine.
Boy, this offense will get everybody involved. I mean, he's listed as a fullback, just enough time to get the ball swung to him in the backfield.
That was a pickup enough for a first down, and once again, short passing game for Frohnapple. Which a lot of times is a substitute for a lack of a running game when you pick up 3 and 4 yards at a pop.
Absolutely, and it's really considered a short running game there. You get them to the hands quickly to your playmaker, see if he can't make one guy miss.
Frohnapple empty backfield, now trying the middle of the field. And the thing of beauty so far is he picks up another first down as he's using the sidelines to his far left, to his right, and then the middle of the diamond as well.
And he's spreading the ball across many different receivers too, so everybody's getting an opportunity to touch the ball.
5 catches already for Tajay Sharp. We're just in the first quarter. Little fade route looking for a touchdown, and UMass takes the lead. Shakir Nesmith with his second touchdown of the season, and Frohnapple's throw a thing of beauty.
Well, when they talked about Naismith earlier this week on the phone with Coach Whipple, he basically said he's a guy that's a three wide out guy. When we go 3 wides, he'll be that guy. So not the main target, but at 6'5", 205 down that outside, nice guy to be able to throw it up in the end zone too and go up and get it.
John, can we officially say the shootout is underway?
Yeah, I think we could after the national anthem.
When the two teams got off the bus, 88 seconds, first quarter. Frohnapple's first of what likely is many touchdown throws today as the Minutemen take a 10-7 lead on the toss to the left corner of the end zone. The guy in your picture is Eric Frohnapple, the brother of Blake Frohnapple. They combined for some early highlights at Marshall that were most memorable.
Yeah, pretty memorable. Blake Frohnapple, first touchdown pass that he threw at Marshall was to his brother, Eric. Pretty nice story. Eric just graduated last year and had an opportunity to play in the NFL, went to camp with the Chargers this year and unfortunately didn't make the team, but now here to support his brother today.
Ago, 11-play, 82-yard drive capped as UMass has taken the lead 10-7, and this is returnable from about a yard in by Miller. And he is cut down before he gets to the 20-yard line. John Robinson Woodgett, who also doubles on the secondary for UMass, up to make the special team stop. Actually, Robinson Woodgett is an inside linebacker. Here's referee Kluzinski.
Illegal block in the back. On the return team, number 87 will penalize half the distance to the goal. First down.
Jamel Hosley is the guilty party, number 87. This drive will start from the Bowling Green 9.
You get the feeling that really It doesn't matter where this drive starts for this football team, regardless if it starts at the 20 or at their own 10. As many points as they put on the board, much yards as they get, don't really care where they start.
Whipple's challenge today with his coordinator Tom Masalas to try to stop this offense from wherever it starts. Fred Coppett, his first carry of the game, the junior running back from Fort Lauderdale, who won the game against UMass last year, carried the ball 15 times for 78 yards. A lot of Florida speed on both sides of the ball in this game today.
Yeah, Coppett a little bit thicker, a little heavier than Travis Green, the former wide receiver.
This is how the Falcons started the game, John, with back-to-back running plays. Coppett again carrying the ball. And you wonder if Bowling Green can establish a running game that its chances will increase in winning the game.
And I think what they're trying to do, too, is try to get this secondary for UMass to kind of get a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, and that'll allow Matt Johnson, with his ability to throw the long ball, even that much easier for him.
First down now from the 20. Johnson's got plenty of time. Does a sideline route. And another Falcon first down, this time to Garrett Dieter. Had a coming out party against Purdue with 10 catches for 96.
And a great job on Dieter's part that time, coming back to the football as Johnson really threw that to the first down marker, and Dieter comes back to make the catch. And got to trust your wide receivers to do that.
Fake into the line, pass to the outside. That play got blown up in a hurry. That's Randall Jett, the outside corner. Matching up in practice against Tajay Sharp, John, gives him a lot of chance for success when he gets into games.
Yeah, they say Jett is one of the guys, the top defensive back, Jim Thorpe Award watch list to start the season.
Last play, first quarter, man wide open. That could go for 6. Touchdown, Ronnie Moore. And the shootout rolls on.
Well, they talk about Ronnie Moore's ability to make people miss and run after he has the ball in his hands. Well, he didn't have to make anybody miss that time. Wide open down the field. We said Matt Johnson's pretty accurate when he gets the long ball down the field. That's a perfect combination right there between him and Ronnie Moore.
What a way, John, to end the first quarter. And didn't you say with a little bit of running efficiency, it might loosen up that secondary? Wow, what a first quarter. You at home, catch your breath. Come on back for the second. It'll be equally as entertaining. These guys are going to be busy today, but they're in great shape, so they shouldn't have a problem. After one quarter, 14-10. Dino Babers, head coach at Bowling Green, calls this guy our go fast guy. And he did on the last scoring play of 71 yards. Now if the Falcons regain a lead, and it's worthy of another look.
Yeah, watch this offensive line. If you're going to throw the ball deep, you have to have time to throw the football. And then go fast guy goes fast for touchdown. And Ronnie Moore, ability to run after the catch, make guys miss, didn't have to do it there.
No. Talk to the coordinators of this team. They're co-coordinators, Mike Lynch and Sean Lewis. They call this offense a Ferrari-like offense.
Yeah.
And Ferraris, they like to go fast.
Yeah, you asked them, what should we call it or how should you look at it? And they said, you know what, we just want to be seen as different. I think they want to do it from a recruiting standpoint. They just have fun at practice. They don't have a playbook. They just kind of draw things in the dirt somewhat, quote unquote. But it's all successful.
Good point. Next time on Bowling Green's offense, we'll talk a little bit about how people are able to put this offense together and how difficult it is to contend with on a week-to-week basis. After the return by Oliphant, UMass will start its drive. Pretty good field position, just seconds into the second quarter. So Blake Fronapple set to go back to work. Frohnapple 14 for 17 for 145 and a touchdown. They have been able to sack him twice. Goes play action on first down, has time, broken up at the 35-yard line. Frohnapple shooting that one into double coverage, and Austin Valdez was around the ball.
Now Valdez is very active as a linebacker that time. I thought maybe they were going to get a holding call on it that time because Rodney Mills, the tight end, was actually trying to come across the field, and Blake got rid of it quickly trying to get it to him.
He'll make up half the difference needed for a first down, setting up a 3rd and 5. As Trenton Green able to put a stop on Mills, who has battled ankle difficulties, but today is healthy and ready to go. Now he becomes an outside receiver on 3rd down. With a 3-receiver set to the near side, Frohnapple can just pick an open target.
What's impressive about watching him is he knows where he wants to go with the football. He doesn't indicate it to the defense, and then boy, it's a quick release as he just sets and fires. He doesn't bounce around. If you watch him back there, he's ready to throw the football at any given time.
6 catches now for Tajay Sharp. A lot of time for Frohnapple to find an open receiver who makes the catch, but Mills is out of bounds. Our replay official today is John Sullivan. We have not called his name to this point because there have been no plays of worthy note. Doesn't mean we're not going to have some, because these two teams combined for 200 plays, rushing and throwing from the line of scrimmage last year. And they may take a look at this one up in the booth.
Just as you say it.
Timing's everything, isn't it? Mark Whipple, who spent time in the National Football League with a Super Bowl champion Pitt, Philadelphia, and Cleveland.
I love how people talk about this offense kind of being an NFL-type offense as we take a look to see if his foot gets in here.
Reception there, but he appears to be out of bounds.
Looked like the toe was down inbound, but the heel came down out of bounds, and that will be an incomplete pass. Shouldn't take him long to make a decision on this. But they was talking about this being an NFL-type offense. With his experience, this is nothing like an NFL offense, I don't think. I mean, nobody runs up-tempo like these guys do. They may have some motion. I think it's a little bit different than most teams that are up-tempo, that they will motion, they will shift and do a lot of different things and give defenses more looks, but it is so much up-tempo than the NFL.
Replay booth, John confirms what we saw on the field and what was ruled on the field, incomplete pass. 2nd and 10. 14-10 in favor of the Falcons. Bowling Green showing pressure. Had 9 in the box, and UMass makes them pay for it with a first down run inside the 45-yard line. So Jamal Wilson checked that. Marquise Young carries for the first down, and Hardy knocks him out.
Marquise Young, a true freshman. They really like this guy. He had a breakout game against Notre Dame, and because of that, he's going to get the football a lot more, but Coach Whipple really likes the talent that this kid brings to the game.
In that game in South Bend, you mentioned 5 carries, 103 yards, and a score. They go play action on first down, incomplete, intended for Young.
Now in this offense, you can't just rely on the run game. If you're a running back, you got to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. As Blake Frohnapple, he'll check it down and throw to his backs, and he wanted to go deep that time, nobody there, and he knew exactly where his outlet was.
Brian Ward, his first season as defensive coordinator, has got work cut out for him today. Frohnapple pressured, throwing, ball picked off, 25-yard line. No, he did not make the pickup. Bernard Turner looked as if he had it, but you can tell by the reaction. Moments after it occurred, he did not have possession.
Yeah, Frohnapple was really upset with his receiver that time as he looked over to the sideline to Coach Whipple. He expected his guy to start to curl inside, and he threw it to the hash mark, and it's not like him to miss a guy that wide to one side, and They were not on the same page that time.
Also missed Michelle on a touchdown pass. Sets up the screen here. Well-designed play by the head coach Whipple. Wilson with a catch and the run for the first down to the Bowling Green 29. And sometimes when you know pressure's coming, that's the best way to offset it.
And as you said, that was a great play call. Anticipate them coming after you, and you can see him replacing Young in the backfield with Wilson, a guy that has proven he can catch it back there.
Another first down for UMass. Here comes the heat. And Fronapple. Sacked for the third time today. James Sanford came off the edge.
Said last week that Sanford led this team with 13 tackles. That time he didn't see him coming at all, and that's a dangerous situation for a quarterback. And fortunately, he held on to the football that time because Sanford was getting in there in a hurry.
After the loss of 9, Fronapple trying to get it back, and he does. He needed 19 for the first down. How about 21? And right after the play, penalty flag goes down. Mills on the catch. The play may be enhanced if there's a penalty coming up against Bowling Green after the catch.
Personal foul. Targeting. Defense number 18. That play is under further review.
That's a serious offense against Bernard Turner because if this is upheld, he will be ejected from the game. You know, there was a lot of attention paid to targeting this year. You saw the head snap, John. What did you think?
I don't think so, and they're calling it on. Did they say it was number 4 on Hardy coming in, the second guy? I'm not sure what they're calling or who they're indicating may have been a target. Both guys seemed to go low that time. I don't think. I just don't see it. Then I'd venture to say my guess would this will be overturned. I didn't see that flag came in so late there. I don't really know who they're trying to call this on because I think that
Turner
hit right
with
there.
the hit right there, and then Hardy comes in.
Yeah, I think Turner's hit was fine, and then of course the guy becomes a runner after that.
Review, the ruling on field is confirmed. It was targeting. Will penalize half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down. Number 16 has been disqualified.
Well, they're saying 16, but 18, Bernard Turner is the guilty party, and Turner is pretty angry about it.
Yeah, and I don't blame him necessarily for being a little bit upset there. I mean, you're making a play there. It didn't look like he went high. It almost looked like the receiver kind of ducked his head down at the end once he became a runner. So unfortunately for Turner, a guy that leads the team with 2 interceptions and a guy they're going to need today is now no longer in this lineup.
More discussion going on about it. It was confirmed by replay. So what could be talked about at this point?
I don't know. I was watching.
And maybe going over the number. Obviously, Turner thought it was on him initially and left the game. Now, at the end of the play, 16 Valdez comes in.
Yeah.
So there were 3 different Bowling Green defenders on the play. And they mentioned initially on the announcement 18, then they said it was 16.
Yeah.
And I suppose this conversation is to try to get the number right because Bowling Green's going to be without a player in that secondary or linebacker spot. So let's try from this angle to figure it out. Mark Kluzinski's had a busy afternoon with his Mid-American Conference officials. Hardy was hit with a targeting violation at Purdue and was kicked out of that game. But Hardy right now is not the guilty party. So that's 18 Turner, then that's 4 Hardy, and now 16 Valdez comes in.
We verified the number of the player was number 16, was the second man in with targeting. Number 16 has been disqualified.
So Turner can come back, and Valdez is the one that's gone now. Well, how about this? And in fact, somebody's running toward the locker room to let him know right now that Come on back, son. Look
Boy,
at this.
And as we saw him go in there, he kind of tossed his helmet in aggravation, so he's going to have to get that together. And as quickly as he was going in there, hopefully he didn't start taking the uniform off.
Sure.
It's almost like they're going to have to give him some time to get back out here.
But you don't agree with the call?
No, I mean, I don't know. Especially if you're the second guy, the guy becomes a runner. I don't know if they're calling it a late hit. I just don't understand how it can be targeting once a guy starts to run with the football.
Turner's about set to come back, I believe. And right now he's getting his equipment adjusted, and that'll be it for Austin Valdez. Had this happen in the second half of this game, Valdez would be disqualified for the remainder of the second half and then miss the first half of next week's game. As it turns out, Valdez will miss the remainder of this game.
Well, and that's a guy, when you're talking about Valdez, that kind of leads this defense. First on the team with 57 tackles, fourth in the country. So regardless of who you're going to miss on this defense against a UMass offense is going to be very difficult. And I don't know, I just think it's a very difficult call against the Bowling Green defense where they're just trying to get a guy down, and I don't know where you make that call on the second hit or the second guy in. So as good as you feel for this guy coming out back on the field, you feel just as bad for Valdez going off the field.
You know, Turner slammed his helmet, and right now he's without a helmet. So they're going to have to find one for him.
And he may not need one right now, as aggravated as he is being thrown out of this football game, or the thought of being thrown out as he comes over to the sideline. But they're going to have to get that helmet back because he doesn't have it right now.
Well, for all our lead-in information today, setting up the great offensive we would see, it's a play on the defense, or a call on the defense right now, that has brought us to a halt for the moment. Turner now has a helmet and is back in the game. So when play resumes, just in case you've forgotten, it's first and goal at the 9. UMass trailing 14-10 moments into the second quarter. Thrown apple on a fade route's got a man incomplete. He had Mills in the deep part of the end zone, couldn't get it to him. Apple's missed on a couple of his end zone throws today.
Yeah, he has. That one a little bit too aggressive. You don't want to throw it up in the air where somebody can pick it off, and he gave only his guy a chance.
To the ground game, Jamal Wilson and Marquise Young have been the principal ball carriers today. Zach Colvin, considered to be the most aggressive of that front four, makes the tackle, and now Bowling Green will bring in substitutes. Let's see how many they rush on third down. Likely an extra defender will be out there. Early in the game, they limited UMass to a field goal. And before this play
Massachusetts, this is their first of the half.
begins, there'll be a timeout call by the Falcons.
This is the full timeout.
Big play on third down early in the game. We'll come back with it in a moment. During this past week, Chelsea Lowe, assistant trainer Bowling Green, and the head coach Dino Babers, they were heroes. Fire broke out. A young lady from Avon, Ohio, was in a car accident as the football team was coming back from its game against Buffalo around midnight near Cleveland. And as the fire broke out in the car, Dino Babers rushed in to bring the motorist out of the car into safety. Both he and Miss Lowe gave the motorist comfort. And Dino says that dates back to a time many years ago in coaching when one of his vehicles he was in went out of control on a snowbank in Arizona, and motorists came to his rescue, and he offered to pay those motorists that time some money. They said no, just pay it forward.
Yeah.
And he did.
And that's not the only time. He's paid it forward a couple times because it happened to him in Dallas as well on an icy night where he was able to help save some people. Kudos.
Absolutely.
He sent the other buses home. He told the offensive bus that he was on to stay right there, and he'd take care of it all.
3rd and goal for UMass. Fronapple's got room to run. Now throws on a run. It's picked off. Second time in the end zone, Fronapple's made a mistake. Last time he missed on a touchdown, and this time throws a pick to Alfonso Mack. Mack getting a chance to start today in the place of the injured Darrell Hunter, and he makes it pay off.
Now this Bowling Green defense has been doing a pretty good job in the red zone. They did last week. You see Fronapple rolling to the right here and really just forcing the ball in, and he'll get to the sidelines and hear a lot on that because you just can't force it down. And Bowling Green's defense has been doing a really good job in the red zone of not allowing so many touchdowns, giving up points last week, 22 points on 6 trips into the red zone. So this time doing a nice job of keeping them out once again.
Well, this is partly due, John, to missed field goals, but UMass's offense came into the game 123rd in offense in the country in that red zone. So being able to convert into points has been a problem as Roger Lewis. We haven't called his name at all today. He's only had 3 200-yard receiving games, makes a first down catch and run. Matched up against Randall Jett, the boundary corner for UMass. Play action, a fake to Green to the sidelines, and now Lewis is starting to get in the flow of the offense. Early this week, I asked Dino Babers about Matt Johnson and Roger Lewis, their chances at the next level, and Babers' reaction was, "What the hell are you talking about? Lewis is only a sophomore."
Yeah.
Of course, he was.
We want to keep him here.
Yeah,
he was funny on the phone. He's telling you just like it is too, and that's what he said. This is a black and white program. We don't color anything. We think if he's going to make it, he can make it, and we'll tell you that.
I can honestly say before our Bowling Green and UMass audience, I was not trying to go Leonard Fournette on. The great LSU running back, who people have already speculated about his future.
Yeah.
Babers is a fun guy to talk to, and his former Baylor team, Kansas scored an early touchdown on him, and they got mad. They scored the next 59 points and are leading Kansas today 66-7. This is the offense that Babers gives full credit to Art Briles. Just 4 years under the direction of Briles, but here's how it works, and you alluded to it earlier. There is no playbook. Basically, they come in and draw up the plays for the new kids on the block, and then they walk through it, and then they watch it on film or tape, and then they execute it many times in practice, and they say that leads to strong retention.
Over and over. Even different for the coaches that come in here.
Travis Green into the secondary. It's a race to the end zone. Touchdown.
Well, we said they'd throw it all over this field, and Travis Green has been able to run the football during this first half. Nice run there. He's able to stiff arm and get it into the end zone, and you can see his speed.
The #1 scoring offense of the Mid-American Conference already has 3 touchdowns in the first 20 minutes of the first half. Travis Green now with 9 carries for 88 yards. This one from 32 and a touch. In games last year and this year against the Minutemen, Travis Green of Bowling Green has rushed for 3 touchdowns and nearly 200 yards. Today he has 9 for 88 and a score. Across the Mid-American Conference, it was Reese Davis with his support for Central Michigan today. Now trailing Western Michigan early in the fourth, 41-38. John, you'll be with Miami of Ohio next week. They're trailing Ohio in Athens, 14-3. That's in the second quarter. Difference in this game seems to be Blake Fronapple and his inability to convert in the red zone.
Well, if you talk to both coaches before the ball game, that's exactly what they'll tell you, is if you can win in the red zone in this game today, you're going to need touchdowns. Field goals probably not going to get it done for you.
Returnable kick about 2 yards deep. James Oliphant returns the football to the 28, and so that's where UMass will begin. Fronapple today, 18 for 27 as starting quarterback UMass. 193 yards, a touchdown, but a significant interception in the red zone on the previous drive. Just joining us, Bowling Green's defense affected by a targeting call, upheld by a replay. Middle linebacker Austin Valdez ejected from the game. Fronapple, play action, first down, and in trouble, and he'll just throw it away. Let's talk about the pressure Bowling Green's been able to apply on Fronapple this afternoon.
Yeah, and that time they sent pretty much everybody in, and looked like UMass wasn't ready for the blitz on that particular play, and may have fooled them a bit because Fronapple just had to throw that to the sidelines and try to live to play another down.
Bowling Green defensive coordinator Brian Ward pointed out earlier this week that giving up just 15 plays at 25 yards or better, and 6 of those were in the loss against Tennessee and Knoxville.
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense number 74, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Lewis Coulter is the backup left guard. Assess the penalty. 5 yards back, 2nd and 15. Under 2 minutes in length of drives through this Saturday, coming into this Saturday, UMass second best in the country. But nothing so far of less than 2 minutes and just one score. Fronapple on first down with a strike to the 35-yard line and a pickup of 14.
Don't go to sleep.
No. Tajay Sharp with the catch, and for Sharp now, he has 7 receptions for over 80 yards.
Personal foul,
and again,
hands to the face. Offense number 77 will penalize half distance to the goal, second down.
Tyrell Smith, the left tackle, is guilty of this violation, and the penalties are really beginning to add up in the game for Massachusetts.
Look at the left tackle here, top of the screen. Tyrell Smith, hands to the face, right in front of the official. He sees it, really didn't extend it a whole lot, but got it up underneath, and you're going to get that call. Experienced guy in that tackle, Tyrell Smith, 27 starts in his career.
Third penalty of the game against the Minutemen, now for 37 yards. We've got to make up 26 yards, starting with this second down rush. So after the run by Marquise Young, it brings us to 3rd and 20. You know Bowling Green's going to drop people in coverage.
Well, we've seen UMass be able to pick up some first downs on 3rd and very long situations, and this is asking an awful lot here with almost 3rd and 20.
4 men on the defensive side of the ball. That's exactly what will rush Fronapple. Still finds an open receiver at the 30. Can he get to the first down marker? No. Just short. Michelle with a catch. Alfonso Mack, who had that end zone pick with a tackle. They're able to get 16 yards on the play, but they are roughly 3 to 4 yards short.
I was watching the sideline there to see what Coach Mark Whipple was going to do. Both of these offenses not afraid to go for it on 4th down. So far this year, this UMass team has done it 14 times, and Bowling Green has attempted 4th downs 15 times, so both coaches not afraid to do it.
Logan Laurent will punt. Burbrink with the catch at the 33, and it's likely too early for anybody to take a major gamble on 4th down, but you're right, that's a statistic to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Because if this game is a 1-score game in the 4th quarter, taking chances, well, that's what these two head coaches do.
Now, the one thing about it, when you fall behind 21-10 and you have this type of offense, it's not like you're not used to throwing the football anyway, so you know guys are going to come after you, and to be able to put points on the board and as quickly as they do it, really not going to affect them that much. But what's going to be important now is that they try to slow down this Bowling Green offense a bit.
And for this offense, 143 yards on the ground. Actually checked that 100 yards in the first half rushing. Green now as an outside receiver. Johnson on first down on its go route intended for Roger Lewis. Roger Lewis, the number 1 receiver in the Mid-American Conference, the number 2 receptions leader in the country.
19 straight games for a catch for Lewis, and boy, they were just off a little bit right there. Looked like he wasn't anticipating that Johnson was going to get him the ball that quick.
Fake to Green. He'll throw to the outside. Good enough for another first down and a pickup of 13 to Ronnie Moore. Already has a touchdown reception of 71 yards. And here come the Falcons again on offense. Schematically, Dino Babers says this resembles Baylor to a T. It's called Falcon Fast. Or line up your Ferrari and go.
Yeah, you need more footballs, and they've got a lot of talented guys catching the ball out there too. Many weapons to go to, not just one guy they can focus on defensively. You have to be ready for them to go to any guy.
Makes a big difference too when you can run the football, as Bowling Green has done in its 2 games with UMass. Green releases, Johnson steps up, penalty flags all over the place, and that's likely going to be a hold. But we'll wait and see.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Ben Stewart, the junior from Holt, Michigan, is assessed the penalty. And a football return to the 40. John Gregory, who spent his days quarterbacking for Marshall University, and Jim Barber today on E3, live from Bowling Green. Another penalty flag on the play. This will be called to a halt.
Offside. Defense number 41. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And that one goes against 41, Deshaun Downey of UMass. First downs today are even, but the rushing statistics, as was evident last year, are significantly in favor of Bowling Green's difference in the game. Or one of the differences, anyway. You throw a 71-yard pass to your fleety wide receiver, that helps too. Johnson will run the football. Midfield, slide to the 45. He wants a penalty flag, and guess what he's going to get? And I think the fans here want targeting as a result of Valdez being kicked out moments ago.
Oh, yeah. And this was, I thought, a very good call, as Johnson was
After
clearly
the play
down.
was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's a 15-yard penalty on Edmonds, but the sidelines of Bowling Green and the fan support are arguing it should have been more. I don't think he came with a crown, though, did he?
No, and he didn't hit the head, so definitely a personal foul, late hit.
First down at the UMass 32. A look to the sidelines. It's play calling by committee. Coordinators Mike Lynch and Sean Lewis and the head coach Dino Babers. Asked him earlier in this week, could we get a headset on it? You know, we could put a microphone to listen in. He said, no way, said Lewis. Another Bowling Green first down to the UMass 17, and this offense is really clicking now as Dieter makes the reception. And for Dieter today,
UMass number 92 lost his helmet on the play.
His 5th catch.
He must leave the game for 1 down. UMass number 92.
I thought that was interesting when they said they call plays by committee. You just wonder, they go so fast, how does each have an opinion?
Sure.
And who do they go with?
It's an interesting story. We'll follow up in a moment after this play about that. Time being called by the Minutemen.
Timeout. Massachusetts. This
When
is their
Dino
second of the
Babers gets in touch
This is a
with Art
30-second
Briles
timeout.
during the season, which is rare, and it's only out of need. He said that the conversation kind of resembles our two offenses.
Yeah.
What do you need? This. What do you want? How do you do it? Okay, thank you. Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good friends, but, you know, it's up-tempo everything.
Up-tempo. He called it that, too. It was an up-tempo phone call. Yep. Just what you need to know and get off the phone. We both have business to do. Yeah, he is entertaining to listen to during the week. And
He sure is.
you've had a chance to sit down in the past and talk with him when he was in the playoffs.
Eastern Illinois coaching Jimmy Garoppolo. So what a situation for Garoppolo as the backup, the heir apparent to Tom Brady's position, much like Aaron Rodgers was to Brett Favre, and that Garoppolo is just in a wonderful spot and can wait as long as necessary before he needs to take over for the Patriots. Doesn't have much contact with Garoppolo because of the fact that it's all business on both sides, but Jimmy's dad stays in contact
Talks
with
to his
Dino.
dad more.
Bowling Green, 1st and 10 in the red zone. Red zone's been an area prior to the game where they have struggled. 10th in the MAC and 110th in the country. Chance to go up by an additional score. Travis Green, who's approaching 100 yards rushing. Peter Angay, the starting defensive tackle, makes the stop. It's a pickup of 8. Back to Green, headed toward the end zone. And they're able to drag him down right on the cusp of the goal line. It'll be 1st and goal. And the Minutemen cannot find an answer for running back Green. Let's see if they bring in their power pack right now here on goal line.
And they did. They brought their 2 big offensive linemen and fullback or slash running back into the ball game, and Donovan Wilson.
J.J. Bagan, 77, is back there as well. 1st and goal. They'll spot it at the 2. Derek Lee in motion. Donovan gets the call. Just short. Donovan Wilson for the year has 4 rushing touchdowns, and they all come from goal line situations. At the 5-minute mark, it is 2nd and 1.
The ruling on the previous play was the runner was down short of the goal line. The play is under further review.
Difficult from this vantage point to tell. Wilson winds up in the end zone.
See if he crawls after maybe a knee hits the ground here. Boy, I didn't see a knee on the ground. You could hear the fans down on that end zone complaining, but that's kind of normal for the home fans wanting their guys to get in, but I didn't see a knee on the ground, so probably a good call to take a look at this.
Ben Stewart, 72, trying to lead the way. John Sullivan, heads up replay today for the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, looks like I saw the knee.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Yes.
It will be.
Yeah, I think they got that right. When I last looked there, it looked like you could see that left knee on the ground before the ball actually crossed the goal line. Watch his left knee right there.
And the knee is down before the ball crosses the goal line. 2nd and goal now for the Falcons. Our package again, 44 is Donovan Wilson. Everybody in tight. Wilson to the end zone. Touchdown. His 5th of the year.
No question they're going to turn around and give it to that guy, get in the goal line situation. They've done it all year. Until you stop me, might as well keep feeding them the football.
Tyler Tate trying to make it 4 straight on extra points. Falcons now with the biggest lead of the game at 18. 28-10. So when you get to the goal line, you give it to the biggest guy in the backfield. It's Donovan Wilson. UMass has got to find some answers, particularly with its running game. We'll be back. Welcome back. Jim Barber, John Gregory. Waning moments of the first half. Let's take a look at what is coming up at halftime. A terrific story on Clemson quarterback Deshaun Watson and him giving back to the game. Well, you know, Bo knows. How about Fro knows? And highlights and statistics of a first half that I think at this point we can say Bowling Green is dominant.
They certainly have been. Any turnover or any field goal in the red zone is going to quickly get you to fall behind in this ball game.
Upset brewing in the Red River rivalry. Texas beating number 10 Oklahoma with 2:20 to go in the fourth, 24-17. Boy, if that sticks, Charlie Strong will finally have an enjoyable weekend at UT. Minutemen still have timeouts to work with. Field position again, not very good to start a drive inside the 20. Blue 25 on special teams to make the tackle. So how can the Minutemen get it going when your quarterback is off, particularly in the red zone, and you're not running the ball?
Yeah, well, you've got to be able to run it at times when your guy's not firing on all cylinders. But, you know, this is a team that can score pretty quickly on you, as we mentioned before, under 2 minutes, number 2 in the country in doing so. So, although they may be behind on the scoreboard, they're not done yet.
UMass, John, has a timeout remaining in the first half. Blake Fronapple today 19 of 29, 210, 3 sacks and a touchdown and a pick. Throwing again on duress. Malik Brown was chasing him to the sidelines. And one thing about Brian Ward's defense,
personal
Bush
foul
around there as well.
Roughing the passer, defense number 61, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Bush is going to be hit with a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty. But to this point, Brian Ward's defense has been up to the task.
Well, I didn't see the flag originally come out at that time. I couldn't find it on the sidelines, but I thought something transpired over there with Bush hitting him a little bit late. And you know, you got a team down, you don't want to make those mental mistakes.
And yet, how do you tell a guy from the front line who's chasing quarterback to pull back?
Well, he's got to know that. I mean, you're hurting your football team when you make a mistake like that. That wasn't within one step. He took a couple steps there and hit him late, so that was pretty obvious.
Oh, you quarterbacks, you always stick together. Over the middle throw, incomplete. But in fairness, Bush was out of bounds when the hit occurred. That pass intended for Markin Michelle. Tajay Sharp has made a number of catches today, 6 for 72 yards, but has yet to do any serious damage with a touchdown reception.
No, and I think I go back to what you were saying, Jim, is they've been in third down and long situations because they haven't had success running the football and putting yourself in position at first down.
Here's another 3rd and long. This one complete to Sharp at midfield. They'd love to get Sharp singled up if possible, but he can catch in coverage. And he got that one against Mack at the 50-yard line. UMass down 18 points, 3:45 remaining first half. And that one caught for another first down, nearly picked off. It's good for 15. Alfonso Mack had a chance at his second pick, but Shakir Nesmith makes the catch, and you can move the chains again.
And fortunately for UMass, that ball wasn't picked off here. As you can see him just getting in front. He was thinking 7 the other direction or 6 the other direction that time, and good concentration to stay with that.
Fronapple down the middle of the field, incomplete. Look, Fronapple with that throw now has attempted 33 passes. And earlier in the week, John, you know how diligent I am about homework. I dug up MAC records and NCAA records for passing. And just in case we get to that point, most attempts in the MAC are 80 by Andy Schmidt of Eastern Michigan back in 2008. At this point, Fronapple's going to break that mark. Not to suggest, of course, that you don't do your homework, but I thought coming into this game, we probably need a passing record or two to have as reference.
I knew you'd do that, so
time on my hands, right?
32 attempts, 21 to 32. That's 240 yards. That's a good ball game for somebody. Never mind a half.
Little fade route to the end zone. He's got a receiver. Ball is caught. Touchdown. Tajay Sharp. And UMass, well, you said they've got the weapons and the quickness to get up and down the field. And how quick was this drive? And an over-the-shoulder catch, back shoulder by Sharp, and a touchdown. And UMass quickly cuts into the deficit.
You know, they're going so quickly there. I was kind of looking at you here in the booth. I looked down. It looked like he was uncovered outside. You could see him wide open out there. And Fronapple just kind of tossed it up in the air and almost allowed the defense to get underneath at that time. But wide open because defensively Bowling Green had nobody out there covering the #1 receiver for this UMass team.
A 1 minute and 34-second drive, so you can add this to the graphic we showed you earlier about teams that are successful scoring under 2 minutes. So Blake Fronapple, who has struggled close to the end zone, has been more lethal a further distance from it. 45 points in the first half. We had 89 scored to the game last year, so we are right on point for what was accomplished in 2014.
It doesn't surprise me. And I don't think it surprises the coaches either. When we talked to them during the week, I'd say both of these coaches knew that this was going to be some type of shootout like this, and it may come down to the last guy holding the football, last possession. And that happened to Dino Babers last week. That was the first time, or when they lost, they weren't able to get the ball in the end zone to him. It happened this year. That was the first time, he said, in his career as a head coach that they haven't been able to win on the final possession.
And a 1-point loss to Memphis, 45-44, in a game that Babers really thought his team should have won. With 2 timeouts remaining, Falcons will start this drive just shy of their own 20 after the return by Miller. Well, the one thing the Falcons do have is an effective running game which can eat clock and allow you to mix and match your offensive plays. To this date of this game, 126 yards gained and a little more than 1 3/4. So for Tom Masella and the Minutemen defense, how will they come after Johnson and Travis Green? Fake now throw to the sidelines. Lewis, short catch on the play. Gang tackled out of bounds. Clock will continue to move. No gain on the play.
You asked how they're going to come after him. They decided to just send 4 guys that time, leave guys a little bit deeper, try to make this Bowling Green team work for it a little bit more. Maybe not give up the big play, but center of the field is wide open.
Both teams defensively wanting to keep the high-powered receivers of the opposition in front of them, if possible.
Looks like Bowling Green intentionally just kind of slowing down a little bit here, making sure if they score, they're not going to give UMass any time on the clock.
Wait a minute, they don't have a playbook, but if they did, is that in their playbook? But you're right, they're going to chew clock here, not allow UMass a chance to get the ball back. It is a 3rd and 6. Minutemen have a timeout remaining, so if they make a stop here, they can burn that timeout and get the ball back.
It's almost like the players are a little bit confused when they slow it down like that. They're looking on the sideline saying, let's go. What are we holding up for?
It feels like a timeout. Got to get the football to the 29. Play action for Johnson. Looks one way to the other, and then I was flushed out. He will throw. He's got a receiver, and the ball's caught. Matt Johnson at the last moment found an open receiver in Ronnie Moore, and that allows the Falcons to keep the football, and now they're going back to full speed.
Yeah, as soon as they got the first down, move the chains, get the defense starting to skate a little bit, then you want to go after them.
At the 32, Johnson. Out of bounds to the 43. If the Minutemen were able to make a stop on that play, they would have got the ball back. Instead, 11-yard catch by Dieter. First down to the 44.
Boy, and that's just a drive route on the outside as Dieter just drives the defender back, and Kelton Brackett playing off of about 6-8 yards, not going to give him the deep ball.
Johnson, a lot of time to look both ways. And the receiver comes up to try to catch the football, can't do it. As Lewis came in, at the time, the quarterback Matt Johnson had, as you see Jet defending there, has been remarkable.
Yeah, and the receivers are driving guys deep. That time he came back to try to catch the football. He came back about 15 yards to give his quarterback an opportunity.
Falcon win today, John, would push them to 2-0 in the Mid-American Conference. Little screen pass, try to offset that rush. And it's to Travis Green, who's able to scamper for a first down to the 45. The Falcons have 2 timeouts still remaining. Trying to add to their total of 28. And they will use one of these timeouts here.
This is an official's timeout for an injury.
Check that.
Injury timeout.
Official timeout, injury on the Minutemen. It's Trey Seals, number 54, the backup end.
Unfortunately for UMass, Seals may be a little bit injured here, but probably a nice little break for them to be able to kind of regroup, give themselves some time, defensive coaches to kind of talk to the players a bit.
Well, anybody that follows UMass should know that Seals is actually the starting defensive end. He's a converted linebacker. When we came into today's game, these were the numbers, combined 1,000+ yards for the game, 752 of those passing, and points allowed were virtually even. Would you say to this point we have lived up to the hype?
I think so. You know, you got one turnover. If UMass doesn't turn it over in the end zone there, we got a little bit closer ball game, and you know, I think everyone's looking at it like it was last year.
No timeout used. Johnson will run, get swaddled up after a gain of a couple. And now the clock will stop. As the Falcons have one timeout remaining after this.
It's their second of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
Matt Johnson today has been almost perfect. 19 of 22, 86% completions, 217 yards, 2 scores. Total yardage 275 for UMass, but a pick in the red zone and a missed touchdown throw from Fronapple to Michelle has put them behind. It's almost too bad these 2 teams aren't in opposite divisions, and maybe they could meet again in the MAC championship at Ford Field. They certainly are entertaining. All right, Falcons have one timeout in the bank, 43 seconds to go. What's the plan?
Well, you've got the one timeout, so, you know, and the clock's going to stop if you get the first down. So I think you push the ball. It's got to be past the chains. Make sure you're going to get that first down to stop the clock, and they're used to working fast.
Backfield is empty. Johnson stepping up and throwing. Penalty flag on the play. It's going to be a first down catch at the 25, and it may be coming back.
Holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Ryan Hunter, the starting left guard, called for holding.
Correction, second down. Repeat second down.
Down's not nearly as important as the fact that they have lost considerable yardage. Bowling Green back into its own territory at the 47.
And they went with 5 wideouts last time. This time with a running back in the backfield.
Johnson on a strike to Burbrink. Ryan Burbrink, who against UMass last year, 11 catches for 132 and a score. So for the Bolitnikoff Award, he is the sure-handed possession receiver of this team. Draws a comparison to Julian Edelman of the New England Patriots. Now to Lewis, wisely out of bounds. They'll pick up 5 more. And they still have that 1 timeout reserved.
Matt Johnson does such a great job of managing this offense, knowing who he needs to check down to, who to throw to. But this is where they're dangerous. They typically send so many guys deep.
Lewis had a couple of blockers in front of him. They're way shy of the first down, and now are going to have to, well, they won't have to burn a timeout yet because there's a penalty flag on the play.
Personal foul, chop block, offense number 71 and number 77, 15-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Moments ago was Hunter with a hold, and now McAuliffe and Began with chop blocks.
Boy, Bowling Green has picked up enough yards to score a touchdown in this drive, but penalties have really killed them. Only 19 seconds remaining. Yes, they score quick, but if you're going to get those penalties, you got to find a way to get down there. UMass has been very fortunate so far in this drive that these calls have been gone against them.
If the Falcons fail to score points on this drive, you might want to point back to this. It's been a miserable first half for Bowling Green in penalties, and not much better for UMass. Bowling Green's almost on a 175-yard, 200-yard pace for penalties. Clock starts, 15 seconds to go, first half. Johnson looking deep. Nobody to throw to, now to the sidelines, up in the air, picked off. Didn't need to throw the football and did. And Brackett with a pick.
Well, something bad's going to happen. You keep making penalties like that and you force yourself to make a 12-yard or 12-play drive. Things are going to go in the direction of the defense, and that time, right spot at the right time, and that's the first pass really that's got away from Johnson and allowed UMass to pick it off and stifle what could have been a big score here at the end of the first half.
With 7 seconds to go and no timeouts remaining. Let's see what UMass decides to do. They've got a 3-receiver set. They'll put it on the ground and end the first half. At the break, Bowling Green 28 and UMass 17. The battle of future NFL quarterbacks have been highlighted by the running back Green. But Johnson and Frohnapple have got their licks in so far in the first half. An entertaining one at that as Ronnie Moore scored on a 71-yard catch and run. We'll step aside and come back with Deshaun Watson's story from Clemson University here on ESPN 3.
You're all excited to book that vacation flight. Plenty of seats to choose from, right? But the minute you try to use reward miles from your airline credit card, it's slim pickings. The flight you want, sorry, they ask for a ridiculous number of miles. Time to switch to the Capital One Venture Card. With Venture, you'll earn unlimited double miles. And using those miles is easy. Just book any flight you want on any airline, then use your miles to cover the cost. No blackout dates. What's in your wallet?
Welcome to the Capital One Halftime Report. As a child, Deshaun Watson's family received a house through Habitat for Humanity. And recently, the Clemson quarterback had an opportunity to pay the gesture forward. Here's Marty Smith.
The Clemson Tigers and star quarterback Deshaun Watson took today's practice to a build site to construct homes, a project close to Watson's heart.
We done with that wall?
One that had a profound impact on his youth.
We're getting the nails in, and then sooner or later we'll be putting it up.
This is Gainesville, Georgia. Down on the south side, across the railroad tracks and beyond the bridge. 815 Harrison Square. Government housing, apartment A4. This is where Deshaun lived until he was 9 years old.
It was in the ghetto. As little kids, we were growing up and playing football in the yard, but also seeing the drugs, fighting, and just gangs all around us too.
I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it is where they might take something or steal something.
Sonia Watson is Deshaun's aunt. She speaks on behalf of Deshaun's mother, Deanne, who battled and after more than 2 years of chemotherapy defeated tongue cancer, but not before it compromised her speech.
I do know she wanted better for him, and that's what she kept wanting.
Everything changed in 2004. Deshaun was 9 years old, and a miracle arrived in a bag of candy.
It was a Halloween festival, so I brought the candy back home. It was a card that said Habitat, having 4 kids, being a single parent, so she just decided to fill it out and what worse can happen.
Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit Christian housing ministry that partners with people to build homes.
They contacted Deanne. They told her about the whole project, about she have to put in hours and everything. Deanne did. She put in a whole lot of hours, and she would come and tell me, I know how to build a house. And I would say, you don't know how to build no house, girl.
To qualify for her own Habitat home, Deanne logged 200 hours of community service, including attending classes and helping to build homes for other families. All of this on top of her 8-to-5 job as an office assistant.
She was just very excited just to know that she's going to have her own house to her name and be able to have her kids have a backyard.
It meant the world to Deanne. She wanted to get a house and put her children in it. And that day, I never forget it myself. I was down here. Warwick Dunn was down here.
Warwick Dunn, the Florida State legend and Atlanta Falcons Pro Bowl running back, partnered with Habitat to fully furnish the Watson home.
I mean, he provided. When I say he provided, the whole house, the beds, the furniture, the kitchen stuff, everything, even groceries.
Warwick Dunn coming down the hill and presenting us the house and the key. That kind of inspired me to give back and be a part of this Habitat because that's what he did. This dang workout, boy.
On this warm September Tuesday, Watson and his Clemson teammates are building a pair of Habitat homes near campus in what has become an annual philanthropic endeavor for the Tigers.
It's great because I know what it did for me and my family and how it inspired us to become the people we are today.
What impact did Habitat for Humanity have on Deshaun Watson's life?
It gave him a sense of community right out of the gate because he was able to experience the power of other people giving.
I think it definitely speaks numbers to Mom's dedication and character. Just a guy to have something that's your own, that he can say, this is my house. I think that helped him greatly throughout his life.
Deshaun Watson is a keen example of the power of giving. His mother gave. The Habitat for Humanity volunteers who built his home gave. Warwick Dunn gave. And that giving built a man driven to give himself. And because of that, he is reminded every day where it all began.
I've actually got it, tatted on me. I always wanted to remember where I came from and where it all began. That motivation to put my mom in a better situation and just inspire little kids.
When I see this young guy, he just screams humility. Talk about being a giver, talk about being kind and respectful to other people. He's the epitome of that. He's one in a million.
Excellent story. We will focus on another quarterback invested in his community upon our return. Welcome back on our Capital One Halftime Report. We're in our broadcast position this afternoon on the campus of Bowling Green University, where the Falcons lead the Minutemen at the break 28-17. Jim Barber and John Gregory. John finished his great college football career at Marshall, and Blake Fronapple transferred from Marshall to UMass. Got a chance to know Blake a little bit. What's he like?
Well, he's that guy that shows a lot of leadership abilities. I was there when he was actually getting recruited to Marshall, and Tony Peterson, the offensive coordinator at the time, had a chance to meet his family and been in some quarterback meetings with him. So very intelligent guy, knows what he's looking for out there. Certainly has the athletic ability, but the guy has got a lot of awards this year and is on a lot of watch lists, and deservedly so.
Let's take a look at a graphic that indicates what he is in position for. The Davey O'Brien Award, which honors top college football quarterbacks, as does the Manning Award. The Werfel Trophy watch list has to do with community service. Here's a kid that's been with Boys and Girls Club before, implemented a bone marrow drive, part of an AD search committee, part of the Student Activities Commission, Special Olympics, read to elementary kids. I mean, he has done a lot for his community and for his school, and we shouldn't be surprised that he's up for the Werfel Award, which is well thought of.
Yeah, exactly. He may not win the Davey O'Brien or the Manning Award, but certainly the Werfel, Johnny Unitas, those things that look at character and citizenship and scholastic achievement. He's a guy that's done that, working on a master's and still maintaining, I think it's over a 3.75 GPA, so that's pretty good.
You got to go along with the William V. Campbell Award. He's a semifinalist for that one as well for character and community service. Well, we're at halftime. It's been an entertaining first half. When we come back, we'll take a look at what we've seen in the first half, and John will set us up for the last two quarters of play. It is Bowling Green 28, Massachusetts 17. Second October Saturday, a whole lot better weather-wise than the first. As we take a look back at first half highlights of our game today in the Mid-American Conference between the Minutemen and the Falcons. Very active first quarter. Bowling Green on offense, and look at Travis Green go.
Well, early in the ball game, we came out talking they're going to throw it all over the place. They did for a touchdown here, but they really relied on the legs of Travis Green on that first drive.
Blake Fronapple finding in the back of the end zone Nesmith for his first throwing touchdown. Allowed the Minutemen to go up 10-7, but then Johnson to Ronnie Moore on a 71-yard hookup.
One of the things that Matt Johnson does the best is throwing the deep ball accurately, and Ronnie Moore can run after the catch.
In the second quarter, 14-10, UMass driving. Fronapple, bad throw to the end zone, picked off by Mack. That negates any points for the Minutemen, and Bowling Green took advantage. Right down the field they go. Travis Green from 32 yards out. It is 21-10.
In this ball game, you can't afford to make a mistake down in the red zone.
And after the score by Green, Bowling Green adds to it to make it 28-10 on a touchdown by Donovan Wilson. UMass came back on a throw to Tajay Sharp from Fronapple. That's your scoring in the first half, 28-17. But still a lot of football to be played. So don't leave.
A lot to go.
John said there would be at least a 4 to 5 hour game, and he's never inaccurate about these things. We'll come back with the second half from Bowling Green, Ohio.
So what's the best tradition in college football? Take a guess. Anybody? Anybody? I'll give you a hint. It's the playoff. It's only the second year. It's shiny and new like a little baby that I invented.
Oh, you invented it?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Did you watch last year? Third string QB took home the trophy. Third string, that's you guys. You don't know what's going to happen in that playoff. I can't wait.
Aren't you supposed to be working or something?
Yeah, I am. Let's go, Dr. Bubby. That look regulation to you? I think it needs more air.
Back to business here. Let's take a look at the first half numbers. UMass outgained Bowling Green for most of the first quarter, but for the total of the first half, it belonged to the Falcons, who have run the football for 138 and 131, and like last year, UMass has been ineffective, John, running the ball.
They have been. They've put up a lot of yards through the air. You could see one turnover down in the end zone, I think, has really cost them from being in this ball game. But you look at the total yards for both of these teams, 667 yards. Multiply that by 2, just about 1,300 yards, the same as we got last year, and it's exactly what we thought we'd get coming into this game.
Yes, UMass will get the football to start the second half. That's Dino Babers, second-year coach, who took Eastern Illinois deep into the playoffs a couple of seasons ago before getting the football position here at Bowling Green. Same university that Urban Meyer spent a couple years at, starting in the year 2002. It's Tyler Tate set the kickoff, the fifth-year senior out of Carroll, Ohio. UMass without a great punt returner and kickoff returner today, and Kari Bailey Smith. And without Bailey Smith in the secondary as well, it's made the job more difficult today for the Minutemen. who will start the second half series at the 25-yard line. So we saw UMass pretty much abandon the run in the first half. What might we anticipate in the second?
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of the same. They're not going to try to be something they're not. They're not able to run the football like this, so they're going to go with the success they have, and that's 275 yards through the air in the first half for Frohnapple. You know, without the interception down there, they're still in the game, so I think they're going to just stay with what they do best, and that's throwing the ball.
Got a 2-receiver set to the far side, man in the slot, and Frohnapple to throw on the first down, and he'll go to his slot receiver for 5. Rodney Mills, John mentioned this early in the first half, able to go today. Missed a couple of weeks due to an ankle injury. And last year in the game against BG, a couple of catches for 61 yards and a score. Now a 3-receiver set, batted up at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring us to third down. 92 Colvin, considered to be maybe their most aggressive player, able to come up with a deflection.
Didn't have to go very high for that one. That ball almost hit him in the face as Frohnapple, a tall quarterback, just kind of trying to get the check down guy. You know, as you said, Colvin's a guy NFL scouts really like.
Ryan Ward, the coordinator of the defense, says, you know what, we don't have a great pass rusher, but we have people that can put pressure on occasion. James Sanford makes the tackle, but not before UMass picks up a first down. With this type of offense, and John has mentioned it more on one occasion, you're never out of a football game. Elgin Long, the intended receiver there, and they'll put him in a 4-wide formation principally. Mark Whipple spent time with the world champion Steelers when they won one of their Super Bowls, the Cleveland Browns and the Philadelphia Eagles. Once again, Frohnapple throwing underneath.
A guy from the back, Roethlisberger with Pittsburgh, and Coach Whipple.
Big Ben, who spent his time at Miami of Ohio. And this year, the MAC has 12 returning starting quarterbacks, John, of the 13 teams in the 2 divisions.
Yeah, a little bit different than last year when they had a lot of newcomers coming to that position. So that's why these teams have, again, this year, I think it's the 3rd best year against defeating other FBS teams in the Power 5 conferences.
Bowling Green has 2 of those wins against the Big Ten Conference, both on the road. First time that's happened. All right, we come down to a 4th and 1. It appears that UMass will give up the football. It's early in the 3rd. Both of these teams have taken risks on 4th down, but it's a little early to do that. Trenton Green and Ballou back defending, and Ballou, well, UMass thought it should have been pass interference.
Yeah,
the call is that Elijah is okay.
Yeah, and I think you can see the frustration by Frohnapple on the sideline that time. It looked like he was being held as he came across. The frustration continues, and that's the first time we've seen one of these coaches go for it on 4th down.
So now the football turned over to Bowling Green because of the dangerous risk taken at the 45. Johnson looking like he was going to run the football, instead releases. Burbrink with a catch just for a couple, 2nd and 8. Around the MAC, 80-point score between Central and Western. Broncos win at 41-39. And let's revisit the scoreboard at an active Mid-American Conference day today. Some of the games going on as we speak. Toledo and Kent State are in the second quarter. Rockets are ranked in the top 25. Ball State leading on the road in DeKalb 3-0 on a field goal. You will get a chance to see Miami next week against its opponent NIU, and they're down 27-3. Johnson to Burbrink on the near side of the field, and he is tied up.
Pretty interesting matchup with Kent State's defense in Toledo. Toledo playing very good offensively this year and getting ranked. Kent State's a dangerous team, and that defense is playing nice. If they get some turnovers and create something, you never know what can happen.
And Matt Campbell's got a special year going on with the Toledo Rockets. Pass to Dieter. Catch at the 23-yard line. Another first down for the Falcons. So UMass failing on 4th down turns the ball into a short field for Bowling Green. Will run near side on this play. Coppett carries the football there. What about the risk on 4th down by UMass?
Yeah, a little bit early, but you try to set the tempo sometimes. We've said it before. That's the 16th time they've done it this year, so they're not afraid to do it on 4th down. They've had a lot of success.
Here's the zone read, and Johnson carries the ball to the 15. Brings us to a 3rd and manageable. Jovan Santos Knox makes the tackle. Minutemen need to make a stop here. Force the Falcons into a field goal that would keep this at a 2-score game. On 3rd down, Bowling Green very good. 2nd in the MAC, 21st in the country prior to this afternoon. Their typical power formation. And Johnson, the rollout's got a tight end wide open. Derek Lee to the 10-yard line. Great ball fake, 1st down, Bowling Green, goal to go.
Well, if you remember, that's the first time they scored a touchdown today. They ran that same play down on the goal line, and the next time down there, they kept handing the ball off, so they went back to what they scored on, and great play call because he had plenty of open field to be able to work with them.
Touchdown. Now the ball loose in the end zone. UMass has recovered, but the signal is a score, and Bowling Green adds 6 more. Coppett, the ball carrier. There is some conversation going on in the end zone. Let's see where the fumble occurs. This is Coppett heading to the goal line. He's across. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty close. Even though you're crossing that goal line, you better protect the football. Guys are going to swipe at it, but I think you're right. It looked like the ball had crossed the line before that ball came out of his hands. I'm sure they're going to take a look at it, but that's a good look right there. And from
the
that
ruling
angle,
on the field is the runner
like
broke the plane of the goal line before the ball came loose. This is a touchdown. The play is under further review.
John Sullivan's our replay official. Mark Kluzinski's our referee. And this is a pretty important ruling to confirm or overrule.
Yeah, I think he's clearly across the goal line there. From that look, I don't see where they can overturn that.
It's a good play by Randall Jett at the end to try to knock the football out.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
34-17 Bowling Green. And the Falcons now have 2 rushing touchdowns for the game and a total of 131 yards. So Mark Whipple takes a chance on 4th down in his own territory. The gamble's unsuccessful, and the Falcons go 45 yards to bump the lead back to 17, and now with the extra point, 18. Think he has any regrets?
I don't know if he does, but if he has a chance to do it again, I'm sure he will.
He's got plenty of time to invest another risk or 2 before the game is over. UMass football when we come back. Now let's step aside. When UMass took a chance on 4th down and failed for the season now, they're 6 of 15 for 40%. What UMass thought it had, though, was pass interference here, which would have enabled the drive to continue.
Yeah, you can see Nigel Ballou here all over the receiver. And I think if they had to look at it again or had a chance to look at it, they'd probably say that. And Ballou kind of looking around with that. You can see him through that face guard like, I got away with one maybe.
Yeah, and because there was no call, ball over on down to the Falcons, who had a plus field to work with, only had to go 45 yards for the score. Falcons now have 3 rushing touchdowns in the game and back to an 18-point lead. But we caution you, UMass fans, as you know, a lot of time left. Brings up an interesting thought, too. If you don't have a running game, is that more risky, trying it in your own territory on 4th down?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, guys can certainly know that what they have to defend in that situation, knowing that you're probably not going to run the football. One of the things I'd like to see Frohnapple do is a little bit more is read option, give him that one extra blocker in the backfield for him to be able to run the football and pick up that yard.
He's not notoriously a rusher. They'll run the football to start this drive. Ball loose. Bowling Green may have it. Nate Locke falls on the football for the Falcons.
First team to start the ball carrier. Fumbles the ball.
And the guy we were talking about, Ballou, that got away maybe with a pass interference call that time. He comes up with the football.
And make that Ballou on the recovery and not Locke.
Locke was the guy that made the hit that actually created the fumble, it looked like. And that was a huge turnover. Bowling Green goes down and scores here, Jim. This may be an opportunity for them to think that they can win this football game, because UMass is really going to have to come back from a deficit, and as much as Bowling Green can score, that'll give them so much confidence.
Little razzle-dazzle. Green back to his quarterback, Johnson, and he's in trouble, and he is going to be marked down at the 40 for a loss of 10. So the Falcons go to the gadgets, and this gadget gets blown up. But Bowling Green has an 18-point lead and a short field to work with. So why not?
This was going to be a double pass, actually a pitch and a throw back to the quarterback, and Johnson was going to go down the field here, and boy, he takes a pop at the end of this, and some of his offensive players came to his defense, and can't blame the defender for going after him that time. He became a runner.
So football, John, back at the 40. Play action, Matt Johnson scrambling near side, and he'll throw it away. Second drive in a row for Bowling Green with a short field. The last possession started from the UMass 45. This one from the Minutemen 30.
And you don't need to give this offense a head start.
No. Now it's a 4-receiver set. Trips to the right of the quarterback. Johnson today, 21 of 25, 84% completion. Minutemen showing blitz, somebody jump. Free play for Johnson. He'll wing it to the end zone. Touchdown! Ryan Burbrink. The penalty's going to be against UMass, and it will be declined.
Outside. Defense number 41. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
You're right. Matt Johnson knows exactly what to do when there's a defensive penalty and the play is going on.
He immediately looks down the field, and we kept talking about how he can throw the long ball. And Burbrink didn't break stride here. It looked like he got that right foot down. It was close. I'm sure they'll take a look at this, but to me, it looked like that right foot was down, and another big play for Bowling Green's offense.
Tyler Tate trying to tack on the 42nd point. And right now, this game's a blowout. 28-17 at halftime. UMass gambles on 4th down in its own territory, fails. Bowling Green scores, and then Johnson comes back with a bullet to Burbrink after the turnover that started this drive on the 30. Still 9.5 minutes to go in quarter number 3. You know, men from the service have actually visited a practice. The Marines actually stopped in at a Bowling Green practice and were really impressed with the efficiency and the conditioning of this team. And just about anybody can run a post route or a go route on this team. That's a post route for Burbrink there. And they are so lethal with a number of different receivers. And today, 3 have caught touchdown passes in a 42-17 score. Biggest surprise today, Texas upsets number 10 Oklahoma by 7, 24-17. Michigan with 3 first-quarter touchdowns, shutting out Northwestern after back-to-back shutouts in 2 previous weeks. Next week, Michigan and Michigan State. Long way to go from UMass, now down by 25, its biggest deficit. And this one could go house. Touchdown, just what the doctor ordered.
James Oliphant with a 98-yard kickoff return.
James Oliphant for 98 yards and a kickoff return for Massachusetts.
These teams will find some way to light up the scoreboard just when you thought UMass was out of the football game. This happens, 98-yard kickoff return, and UMass, who knows, maybe right back in this thing.
They elect to go for 1 here, figuring there's a whole lot of time and much more scoring to happen. Laurent with the kick. 42 for the Falcons, 24 for the Minutemen. Dino Baber's team giving up a special teams touchdown.
Well, we knew they were going to be explosive on offense. We talked about that and what defense could stop them. We didn't talk about the special teams on how they can add into the scoring in this ball game.
John, 89 points last year. We're at 66 today.
Well on our way.
Yeah. Still 9+ remaining in the 3rd quarter and an entire 4th quarter to go. James Oliphant is a freshman. He's 5'8", 156. He's from St. Thomas Aquinas High School, which has 17 players with FBS scholarships this year. And the man they call Pop because, not because of his age, because he's a kid, but in traffic, he can pop out and go. It's just that there. UMass may not be back in the ball game, but certainly has put itself a little bit more competitive and really needed some relief after its defense gave up the 6th touchdown of this game. Well, John, we approached 4:30 in the Eastern time zone. The game started roughly after 2. So your 4 to 4.5 hour projection is spot on right now.
Well, we talked about the yards at halftime. Both of these teams producing just about what they did in the first half last year, and that game ended up with 1,300 yards. As you said, 200 plays ran in that ball game, so we're right on pace.
First down for Matt Johnson from the 25. The fake to Travis Green. He wants to get the 6 back immediately. Penalty flag coming up. Pass intended for 21, Scott Miller. Back defending Kelton Brackett.
Pass interference. Defense number 1. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, they get Brackett here at the end. Looked like he was holding on just a bit here. Got a little bit before that when it happened. Actually, it was a little bit of, arms back and forth, and they called it on the defense.
Now strike up to Lewis inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. That's good for 23.
And I think that's a great play call. When you go to the same guy in that same situation, you act like you're going deep and you run a deep stop route, you know that defender's going to be backing up out of there, and that was exactly what happened to Brackett that time.
It's an official's timeout for an injury.
He was 10 yards off of
timeout.
that.
Joel Colton is down for the Minutemen. Colton, that hybrid player who Bounces between linebacker and safety. Actually been a safety for this team for 3 years. And when they put him in the box, he says, I've always been a box guy, so I'm back where I want to be. Love that stuff.
Yeah, 244 career tackles will tell you that he loves to be in the box. He wants to be a part of contact, and looks like he's just got a cramp here. So fortunately for UMass, maybe he can get some fluids and come over to the sideline. Watch this, see if we can see at the end here. Plenty of room to catch the football. You could see the defender almost 10 yards back, and that, I think, goes to the play before. When you're going deep, you're backing that defender off, and you get it in his mind that you're not afraid to go deep on you, and it's going to be wide open.
One play resumes. Football at the Massachusetts 36. Quarterback Matt Johnson today has been unstoppable, but this time brought down. They'll mark him back at the 40, a loss of 4. Hassan Messiah getting credit for the sack. First of the game.
First of the game for him. He had 7 tackles in the first half, most active on that defensive side so far today.
Minutemen showing 5 men on the line of scrimmage. Matt Johnson will take a breather and take a look. They'll send 4. Johnson released to Green. And Green gets a lot of it back. Down to the 27.
Jim, that play is so successful because he has so much time to throw the football. Those linebackers are dropping about 15 to 20 yards deep and allow him to just drop it off to his running back, who's able to pick up 10 yards before anybody can even touch him.
So you think they become a little gun shy here, and as a result, Johnson is picking up his receivers at shorter distances for first downs.
Well, you scared them with the deep touchdown last time, and then on the first play you come back and throw the long ball, and then that just backs the defense up. So as an offense, you can kind of control that. You run the football to suck them up and then throw it deep, and you just do it the opposite way.
Roger Lewis had a first down catch moments ago before that run. He has 5 catches on the day. Lewis is the one that leads the country in receiving yards, with 3 200-yard games today. He's well under the number, but his team is up by 18. Green in the backfield, 2nd and 8. He'll carry the football close to the 15-yard line. How many times today, John, have we seen Bowling Green in that 3rd and manageable?
Yes.
As opposed to at times UMass with a 3rd and predictable.
And I think that all goes back to first down and how much success you have on that particular down. And because Bowling Green's been able to run it, that third down's been a lot shorter.
Here's Green cutting upfield. Appears to have enough for the first down. Travis Green, who had 9 100-yard rushing games as a sophomore back in 2013, had the game-winning run with 9 seconds to go this year against Purdue. Screen pass. Green can get to the end zone. Touchdown! He just walked in. Coordinators of this football team on offense are Mike Lynch and Sean Lewis, along with the head coach Dino Babers, and they drew up a fun play right there.
Well, we don't know who drew it up because it's offense by committee, right?
Yep.
But whoever made the call, it was a pretty darn good one. As you said, he just kind of walks in the end zone. He had a convoy taking him down there, a bunch of offensive linemen. Great screen call, anticipated the blitz, and that's exactly what they got.
From the end zone, extra point good. Tyler Tate is 7 for 7. And Travis Green has his second touchdown of the game. Minutemen bought the screen, and Green strolled into the end zone. John Bowling Green quarterback Matt Johnson now has thrown 18 touchdown passes this year, just 2 picks. Today he has 4 throws for scores, just one shy of the amount of incompletions he's had. He's 30 for 35. What a day.
Yeah.
And set up largely because of the fact they came out running the ball effectively.
Video game numbers.
Yes. Well, they have a video game type coach who spent some time at Baylor, brought the offense to Eastern Illinois, electrified FCS for a couple of years, and then got the job here with the Falcons. And right now on the threshold of their 4th victory of the year. Oliphant returned a 98-yarder last time for touchdown. This time this will not be run out. Well, I almost sound like I'm trying to keep our audience involved here, which we always want to do anyway, but there's still a lot of time left between 2 teams that, started throwing the football and running plays feverishly when they got off the bus today.
This is a type of game when you're a quarterback like Matt Johnson that you almost like to see the other team score a little bit so you can stay in the ball game and keep throwing and pushing up those numbers.
In the meantime, Frohnapple back at quarterback in his final season for the Minutemen. Going to run the football here and slide at the 30 for a gain of 5. I thought it was interesting on a previous sequence after Oliphant had run it back for a touchdown for UMass. Johnson immediately went with the long ball, and I thought maybe he took that personally. 2nd and 5. You don't have to worry about this offense going to a hurry up because it's born to run at as Tajay Sharp catches and runs for a first down. He now has 10 receptions, good for 122. So there's time enough to make this game exciting. The problem for UMass has been the obvious. They cannot stop Bowling Green, particularly on a short field.
And we wondered which team or which defense would step up today. It's the ones that's created some turnovers, and that's Bowling Green.
Yep.
A fumble, an interception.
Frohnapple across the middle of the field, tipped up in the air, caught. Rodney Mills on the receiving end. The ball was nearly picked off. Nate Locke back defending for Austin Valdez, who was disqualified in the first half after targeting. And that tip was right in the hands of Mills.
Yeah, great concentration on his part. That's the 2nd time we've seen him be able to come down with the tip ball for UMass.
Frohnapple got a man open again. It's Mills. And Rodney Mills able to stretch it out to the 11-yard line for a pickup of 24. I don't know if this is a hurry-up offense or the 2-minute offense, but this is standard UMass offense.
That's what I'd call it.
2nd best in the country at scoring quickly, under 2 minutes. Frohnapple, dangerous pass there, broken up at the 5. And that'll stop play for the moment at 4:16 of the 3rd quarter. That's James Sanford getting the coverage there for Bowling Green.
And you said it. Almost another mistake by Frohnapple that time, throwing into coverage.
With time on 2nd down. Penalty flag on the play. Nesmith with the catch. Terrence Bush may be guilty of holding. He's 61. Excuse me, not Bush. Who's on the other side?
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty.
Mason Henderson.
Repeat,
Bush was getting
down.
the pressure. And that will bring the play back and negate the catch.
And here's where UMass's problems have been today in the red zone. Against this Bowling Green offense or this team, you're going to have to score touchdowns in the red zone. We said it earlier, field goals will just really not cut it.
Frohnapple trying to set up a screen on the far side of the field. Good play call and down to the goal line. And a touchdown. Mark and Michelle with a score, and here comes UMass.
Well, another name, another touchdown, and Michelle's the type of guy, he's a slot guy, but he'll actually run the football for this team too, and he does it after the catch here. Watch the move he makes and the ability to stretch out at the end. There he sticks it in the ground and then
the ruling on the
reaches
previous
for the
play
end
was a
zone
touchdown.
here. I think
The
it may
play
be a
is under
touchdown.
further
It'd be
review.
tough to call that one back.
Back to the booth, and John Sullivan will review for this Mid-American Conference officiating crew. If the ball stretches out over the pylon before he lost it, it's a score. If it happened beforehand, it's a live ball and a fumble. What do you think?
Yeah, it's close.
Hand is down there, by the way. Here's the other part of it. Did he reach the end zone?
The hand can be down there. Was the elbow down or the hip land before the ball right there?
Hip down there.
Yeah, very difficult to say.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Mark and Michelle. Minutemen and their 2-minute offense come back and score quickly.
Isn't it a 1 minute 17 second offense?
Here's Laurent for the extra point. Fronapple will hold. 28-17 at the break. In this quarter, Bowling Green has scored 21, and UMass has come back with 14.
Outside, defense number 2. The penalty is declined. The try is good.
Still 4 minutes to go in the quarter. Plenty of time for a couple more touchdowns.
Let's take you around the Mid-American Conference. They had a wild game today in Kalamazoo. Western Michigan jumped out 10-0, holds on to win 41-39, so Central gets its first conference loss. Toledo leading 24-7 at the half is unbeaten, ranked in the top 25. Ball State got the scoring early, leads Northern Illinois 13-7, trying to break a losing streak to NIU. Ohio leads late against Miami of Ohio, and Akron has 40 in the first half, leading Eastern Michigan 40-14. I thought Eastern Michigan played pretty well at times at LSU and Baton Rouge last week.
Yeah, they did.
Scott Miller's deep. He's 21. 44 is Donovan Wilson. 80 combined points. Still 19 minutes of playtime left.
I'm not sure this doesn't call for an onside kick here, trying to get the ball back.
Sure. Football is headed the end zone, did not reach the pylon, and that's going to be a penalty on the kicking team. The ball will come to the 35. One thing for the Falcons here in the second half is you check out Mark
Free kick out of
Luzinski.
bounds. Kicking team number 23. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10.
Is that the Falcons, John, have had good field position, great field position at times. Started a drive from the UMass 45, scored. Started a drive from the UMass 30, scored. We'll start this drive from its own 35. How about the future of these two guys? This is their last year of college football, the two quarterbacks, NFL. We talk about Matt Johnson as he swings one downfield, intended for Miller. And Johnson is 6 foot, and Dino Babers, the head coach of Bowling Green, was telling us earlier in the week that the more effective that scouts see him play, and the fact that he can really bring it, his height doesn't matter.
No, and that's when that Russell Wilson talk comes back into play. Does he have the ability to run it? He probably doesn't have the speed that Russell Wilson has, but he has great accuracy. I think that's what he brings most to this team.
Roger Lewis with yards after the catch to midfield. Lewis had 7 catches for 261 and 3 scores in a loss to Memphis.
This guy's got great tools in that. He's got the ability to spin the football nicely. You can see it come out of his hand there, and he's very accurate. You know, does he have the arm strength? He throws a nice long ball when guys are open, but can he really power it down the field? That's my big question for him, but does he have a lot of tools? Certainly does.
If your defensive coordinator, Tom Masella of UMass, can you get this team out of rhythm?
I just don't. Somehow you got to find a way to get to the quarterback, and they've just not been able to do that. This is a veteran offensive line, as we said before, that have been together for the past 2 years. So very difficult to get it. If you can't get Johnson's jersey dirty, then you're going to have a very long day.
And that's exactly what's happened today. He's been sacked once. Completing passes at a percentage over 80. Sets its tight end Fulkertsma on the right side. And I believe that's Coppett carrying the football. Back to another third down. Again, most of the third down situations have been short distances of 4 yards or less. It means you've got a great chance with this offense to complete a high percentage of third downs. UMass lining up 3. Will they do that and rush 3 and drop 8? Now a 4th comes to the line of scrimmage. Little zone read for another first down. So Fred Coppett, junior from Fort Lauderdale.
Now they were thinking the same thing you were. Sorry, Jim. They were thinking the same thing you were. They had 3 up front there. Were they going to go with 3? And if so, they're going to run the football. And because they did it, it's exactly what Bowling Green did. They took their time and counted the guys in the box.
Coppett from St. Thomas Aquinas, that well-acclaimed high school football power in the state of Florida. Matt Johnson approaching his 4th game of 400 yards throwing. He's got 382. Make that his 5th game. He is 32 for 38. Officially has been sacked twice today. No picks, though. 4 touchdowns. Bowling Green starting to slow the tempo down a little bit. From warp speed to, what, half warp speed?
Yeah, they want to chew up clock. Is that what they're... I don't know if this offense has that in them to try to chew up clock. They want to chew up yardage.
That would be insulting to Dino Babers, would it?
I think it would be.
Another 3rd and manageable. 8 in the box, and the Minutemen able to hold Bowling Green on 3rd down, and maybe the Falcons will settle for 3. So a good defensive stand with about a half minute to go in the 3rd. So here's an unusual situation for Bowling Green, an attempted field goal from 37. Tyler Tate on the year, 3 of 8. But he has missed a couple long ones. Kanapke holds, plenty of distance certainly, and the kick is good. More than half 100 now for Bowling Green. It's a 3-touchdown lead as we end the 3rd quarter. But don't go anywhere, because there was a ton of scoring in the 3rd, and you know UMass has got to come back and score a lot in the 4th. 52-31.
The end of the 3rd quarter.
Ready to start the 4th quarter on ESPN3. Bowling Green 52 and UMass 31. Jim Barber and John Gregory. All right, 30 words or less. Your impressions of the first 3 quarters with 83 points scored.
I don't know. It's kind of jaw-dropping when you talk about 83 points scored and through 3 quarters. Just kind of amazing. Johnson's just been, we talk about efficient. 5 incompletions on the day, is it? And 4 touchdown passes. That's pretty efficient.
You know, Babers has only been here a season and a half, even less than a season and a half. He's already had 12 games in which his offense has put together 500 yards or better. Today the total is 555. 2 teams have combined for 958. And still, as we start the fourth, it's a 3-deficit game, 3-score game, and so it's possible for UMass to have a chance to come back and tie or win this game. Of course, it's also possible that Bowling Green will score 3 or 4 more touchdowns before it's over.
Well, you never did say at the beginning. We talked about the over-under of 1,000 yards in this game. Which way would have you taken it?
I certainly thought this game was headed for at least 1,000. The fact that we've accomplished it in 3 quarters is probably not shocking. Neighbors' defense must face quarterback Frohnapple, who's 31 of 47 today, threw an interception in the end zone back in the first half. Little razzle-dazzle, Tajay Sharp giving it back to the quarterback. And finally an incomplete pass. Got a feeling they practiced this before, but it didn't come off.
Wow. We've seen double reverses. This is kind of a triple reverse screen. You had the lineman out front. Had Blake been able to complete that pass, it looks like that would have went a long way.
Looks like a play you draw up in your fraternity. After 7 quarters of play, our efficient group in a production truck has come up with these numbers. 172 points, each quarterback more than 800 yards throwing, 2254 total yards. We'll come back to that in a moment, as Frohnapple will slide for 5 on first down. 15 touchdown passes and 332 plays run for the line of scrimmage. 2254 is what, roughly 1 1/3 miles? There's a penalty flag on Frohnapple's throw for a first down, maybe coming back.
I looked at all those numbers. What was interesting to me is 2 plays difference between the 2 teams, how many plays they've run.
Yes.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense number 11, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Bowling Green's 9th penalty of the game for a total of 103 yards. This will push the football into Bowling Green territory, and they'll spot it around the 38. This game is far from over. And it's almost officially 3 hours in the books. In fact, the spot actually will be to the 27. UMass now with 26 first downs. Frohnapple again throwing a first down. He's got a man at the 10-yard line. Tajay Sharp, incomplete. Bowling Green to bring pressure. And intended for Rodney Mills at the 20. Pretty good pass defense. Dernard Turner, remember that name? In the first half we called him as the man guilty of targeting. He thought he was guilty. He ran to the locker room, threw his helmet down. It was revealed it was not 18, but 16 on the penalty. Austin Valdez, the targeting was upheld by replay. Valdez was gone. Turner, to a nice ovation, came back.
Had to get dressed. He was already in the locker room changing, getting ready to hit the showers.
Yeah.
Pulled him back out here, delayed the game probably about 15 minutes maybe.
Would you say this game's had a little bit of everything?
It certainly has.
4th and 10, no-brainer here. Got to go for it, trailing by 3 scores. Need to pick up 10 and get it to the 18. Frohnapple stepping up, firing to the end zone, incomplete. And the ball turned over on downs to Bowling Green. Let us step aside. Capital One impact performance belongs to Matt Johnson today, 32 for 38, 382 yards. Along with that, 4 touchdown throws, 1 pick, 18 throws on the year for scores, just 3 interceptions. He was good from the word go. And on that one, hooked up with Ronnie Moore for 71 yards and a first half touchdown. And in the second half, Ryan Burbrink. And then when he needed to, a little dump down to Travis Green. 4 different receivers with touchdowns today for Bowling Green. What's interesting, John, he replaces James Kanapke, who last year was the starter, had an outstanding season. The 2 competed for the job this year. Johnson was healthy. Johnson wins out. Kanapke stays. No indications of transferring. And in fact, he said, hey, you know, it's a fair and square contest. I'm here as a backup. You never know when I'll be needed.
No, Dino Babers actually said that he may be the most improved player on the team, too, in Kanapke we're talking about. You go back to last year in this ball game, and we talk about all the points and the number of yardage and everything else. Kanapke was 38 of 59 for 443 yards in that ball game. So he's had every bit of good a game against UMass as what Matt Johnson has.
Bowling Green won that game 47-42. Johnson slides ahead. Set to beat UMass again and go 2-0 in the Mid-American Conference East. And Kanapke is a junior, so he's got another season here.
Boy, with this offense, why would you want to go somewhere else? If you're a quarterback and you know you're next in line to have an opportunity to do that, even if it's for 1 year, certainly you want to play, especially after playing the year before.
That's a good point.
But how much better is he going to be sitting out here and being able to see everything and how it works after getting to play? That's a big advantage.
Bowling Green will need to use a timeout here as opposed to picking up a penalty.
It's their first of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
Comes with 12:11 remaining in the game. Matt Johnson played just 1 game in the year 2014. Career numbers coming in, 5'9", 8'3". He's now over 6,000 yards throwing. 52 career touchdown passes. Completed 43 passes against Purdue in a win there for 402 yards. And oddly enough, the game didn't end on a touchdown pass. It ended on a rush. A run by Travis Green with 9 seconds to go in the game that decided it. Empty backfield for the Falcons. 5 receivers eligible. Here comes pressure. Firing down the field's got a receiver. This could go for 6, and it will. Roger Lewis, touchdown. 68 yards.
We said Matt Johnson can throw the soft touch long ball and just drop it in there. Not a better example of how he does it this time. He's actually almost falling away because the rush is coming in. Watch how he just kind of lets it go and turns his back here as the rush is coming in. Right in stride for Roger Lewis.
This is the 3rd game under Dino Babers' direction that Bowling Green's had over 600 total yards. Falcons basketball team averaged 66 a game last year, John. The football team, and this one is 7 shy. And that man, somewhere down the line, will have a chance to play at the next level. He is the super sophomore out of Pickerington, Ohio, Roger Lewis.
Well, Roger Lewis has got great speed. You can see what a perfect throw, just laid in his arms, and another guy to catch a touchdown pass for this Bowling Green team.
Number 1 receiver in the country coming in. So 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers, 3 rushing touchdowns by 3 different runners. Get the idea under Dino Babers and the 2 coordinators, Lewis and Lynch. The wealth is spread out. And the servicemen, well, they're in good condition anyway, so don't worry about these guys.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the guy on the left closest to us is struggling a bit, and I don't blame him.
They're up to 59, and it does get to be a bit tedious.
He's hoping nobody's watching.
59-31. Oliphant has already run 1 back from 98. This time, no run back. Trip up at the 20. James Sanford playing on special teams. Able to make the tackle, but Oliphant is a lot of fun to watch. And he gives them a dangerous take to the house player.
Well, just 12 minutes to go.
Just? Really, I mean, it's a lot of fun to
some
be
more
here.
Scoring.
Yeah. We've already surpassed the points scored last year by 1. 90 in this game. Thornapple sacked back in the 20.
Colvin, you said before, not a lot of guys can get to the quarterback here, but you can get in the throwing lanes and affect the quarterback. Colvin doing a nice job of getting his hand on Thornapple that time, bringing him down.
It's a team that came in with limited amount of sacks. Speaking of the Bowling Green defense, just 8. They have 4 today. Tajay Sharp is in some pain. This would be a tough loss, not particularly for this game because this game could be out of sight at this point, but certainly for the season. Thornapple hit and dropped, and the play nearly picked off. Pass nearly intercepted at the 40. In fact, I would imagine that number 94, little Walski, probably thought he should make that Brian Baird. Should have had it. And Thornapple got crushed on the play.
Yeah, watch his throwing arm here as he looks like he almost got hit on the elbow, and you can watch him when he got up after a great effort there, not able to come up with it, but as watching Thornapple go off the field, looked like moving that right arm, and it may get somebody on the sidelines to throw a bit.
Brian Burbrink at the 30. We're back after the other side of the break. Matt Johnson today, quarterbacking for Bowling Green, 5 touchdown passes. Total of 450 yards in the air compared to 409 for Blake Thornapple. And it is time for James Kanapke to take over the reins as the backup quarterback, and Johnson is off the rest of the afternoon. 34-28 in first downs, Bowling Green, and they have run the football many more times effectively than UMass, and that is not very much of a surprise. So now backups get a chance to play in the remaining 11 minutes. Kanapke out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, played at high school football power Bishop Luers. And he is a redshirt junior. He has got another season to go.
Just 2 pass attempts on the year for a guy that we mentioned before. Heck, in this game against UMass had 59 pass attempts. So, you know, he's dying to get an opportunity to play. You just don't know, is he going to be able to throw the ball very much today, you know, with the big lead that they have now.
Last year, Johnny threw for 31-73, 15 touchdowns, led his team to a MAC Eastern Division championship. This is Coppett carrying the football to the 40 and near the first down marker. Mentioned Kanapke's success. Had a chance to see him play in high school. On a Friday night in Fort Wayne, they won 3 consecutive state championships. Luers a big-time Catholic power in that city. And Fort Wayne not too far down the road from Bowling Green, Ohio. Interstate 69. Must be very strange for the Falcons to have to stand around.
Well, I thought there was a timeout, actually. The way it looks, they just kind of stand around looking at each other like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, it's like a football four corners offense. Kanapke looking to throw in this one, has now thrown his third pass of the year, dropping his completion percentage from 100 to 66. But you're right, why go anywhere else? He'll take over the offense next year. Roger Lewis will have another year. He'll be a junior next season.
Yeah, that's the other thing you have to look at from a quarterback perspective is the tools he has surrounding him and the ability to do that. I mean, he's got plenty of guys that can catch it.
They'll lose Chris Gallen and Ryan Burbrink and Hervé Kobe. But Lewis is back, Dieter is back, Ronnie Moore is back. Talking like next season's right around the corner, but you get the idea. I mean, Kanapke will have some valuable time next year. I would think it would be hard to keep your focus right here. I mean, you have a 4-touchdown lead, but the fact is you go fast all the time. Now you're going super slow to chew up some clock and not rub it in here. On the long ball, Kanapke up in the air, ball caught. What a catch. T.O. Redding out of Warren, Michigan. Well, Kanapke can still throw the long ball. Redding went up and got it.
Yeah, and Redding, they said he's the guy with the great vertical leap, and you can see at the end here, gets up off the ground, doesn't have to go too high, but enough to fight it away from the defender. And they're back into slow motion mode here, just chewing up the clock a bit as Redding is proud of himself.
This is the football four corners offense here. Bowling Green's only one-sided loss in the hands of the University of Tennessee in a game that was close for the first half in Knoxville before the Vols broke it open. Lost a shootout to Memphis. Won road games in the Big Ten at Maryland and at Purdue.
Ten seconds still on the play clock, so they're pretty much using it all up.
And what was equally as impressive was the win at Buffalo last week. 28-22 in a game where the weather wasn't perfect. Bulls much improved over Lance Leipold. Remember, we saw him at the D3 level with Wisconsin Whitewater and all the championships he won there. They won it by a touchdown.
Go on the road, play under those conditions with this type of offense. You have to be able to win in many different conditions, and they were able to go up there and do that.
Mark Whipple's team down by 11. Fell way behind the 8 ball in the third when it gambled on a 4th down in its own territory at the 45.
Bowling Green, this is their second of the half.
Falcons went down and scored, and then later turned the ball over at their own 30.
Timeout.
And that's just a shooting gallery for this offense. I mean, they're not going to miss.
This is a 30-second timeout.
30 yards
timeout.
out. Bowling Green converted another touchdown and broke the game wide open.
Yeah, you go back to that 4th down attempt for UMass coming out of the halftime, their first possession. You almost got the feeling that Coach Whipple thought that, they're going to have to score offensively every single time to try to stay up with this high-powered offense on Bowling Green's side. And he knows he has that high-powered offense too, so I think it was a good move that he went for it. He knew that what they probably needed to do to get this done, to get the W on the road, and just weren't able to do it.
You will see Miami and Northern Illinois next week. Northern's got a shootout with Ball State today. 28-20, the Huskies lead at halftime. Just completed. Miami of Ohio lost to Ohio in Athens 34-3. I'll check in on Ball State next week and Georgia State from the Atlanta area over in Muncie. Right now 3rd and 12, ball at the 15. High snap, Kanapke catches, and now he'll keep. And that'll bring on the field goal team. Greg Hohenstein to snap, Kanapke to hold, and Tyler Tate trying to convert his second field goal today. Tate, a first-team All-MAC. I asked Babers earlier in the week, what's wrong with the kicking game at 3 for 8? He said nothing's wrong with it. No. He's attempted a couple long kicks, and this guy is going to play in the National Football League.
I love the way he said it. He said he's good. He's not 3 of 8, he's 3 of 6. 2 of them were very long field goals.
Today he's 2 for 2 and bumps the average to 5 of 10 for 50% for the year. Bowling Green once again has doubled up on UMass, 62-31. This is one of over 450 games on the ESPN networks, leading us to the National Championship in Glendale, Arizona in early January of 2016. And moments ago in the pass to Tio Redding that set up the field goal, Kanapke with the completion now puts Dino Babers' offense today at 693 total yards. That's the most ever in a Babers coach game here at Bowling Green. So the son of the mad scientist, Art Briles, has taken his offense to the Midwest, and it has been, certainly today, John, unstoppable at times.
You know, they've just got all the pieces right now. When you talk about a quarterback with his accuracy and an offensive line that's a veteran offensive line, and all the talent they have at the wide receiver position, no wonder why they're putting up such great numbers.
Olafat with a return for touchdown already in this game at 98. This return will be when eventually they pile out. Ball is loose. Covered by Woodley. Olafat likely was down, so they'll down him around the 33. 5:39 remains in the game.
On the field as the runner's forward progress was stopped. First down.
By the way, officials at replay have the discretion if the game is out of reach for one of the teams to not review a play. Now, typically when there's a scoring play, they will review that, and certainly targeting, but other plays that may not have a competitive advantage can go without review in order to not prolong the game. Not that this game has been long or anything. Intended bubble screen for Rodney Mills. Good to see Mills back, though. He was a question mark, and the new quarterback right now is number 2, Mr. Comas. Ross Comas got the position as the number 2 quarterback with a little help from Austin Whipple, the coach's son, and the number 3 QB. Comas releases out of the backfield underneath. Whipple came to his dad, Austin to his father, Mark, and said, you know, I think Comas deserves the job, not me. And so that certainly made it easier to decide. By the way, Spencer Whipple, who handles the tight ends and his recruiting coordinator, is up in the booth for this game. So it's a real Whipple family affair, has been for years. You're asking Mark, do they talk a lot of football? And he said, well, yeah. You know, the sons are removed. They've got their own places.
Yeah.
Including the backup quarterback, Austin, on campus, that when Austin returns home, it's hi, Mom, and a little laundry, by the way.
Some laundry, yeah.
Some hugs, and off and going.
He did say that his mom loves to do it.
Football family. Think of all the years that Mark spent in the National Football League, and now in his second stint at UMass. Or a break into the sun with a fair catch at the 22. 4.5 remains. Better days are ahead for UMass. They really thought coming out of camp that this could be a bowl team. Well, the problem with this loss, it will drop them to 1-4, and that means that running out of chances to get to that mark where you are bowl eligible.
Yeah, and that was one of the big things and big goals for this team this year, is to get to a bowl.
Falcons just about to go over 700 total yards. Donovan Wilson, ball carrier. In fact, they now are officially at 706. That is a school best. Check that 706 is the record. And they're just on the threshold of 700 at 696. I just know somebody at home was going to call me on it, so I had to make it official, correct myself.
You know, it's interesting too, and these coaches know it. Up in the press box, there's communication. They know they're close to the record. You know, they don't want to do anything to kind of, as you say, rub it into the other team, but you know, those are important. You can see the numbers there, 694 yards right now for Bowling Green, trying to get to that 706 number.
Falcons, to their credit, have used a lot of clock here in the fourth quarter. Kanapke throwing toward the sidelines. It'll set up fourth down. They'll have to give it up. But when you talk to defensive coordinators, principally across the country, they say, you know, this is football now in 2015. It's a lot of offense. It's a lot of plays in a short period of time. Defending it can be a nightmare. Yep. Certainly have to have guys in great condition to be able to hang in there. And you also have to have the athletes.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like they know their position now is to just try to hold the team to one less than what the other team scores on the other side of the field, if you can do that.
Biggest complaint for coordinators is the fact that they don't have a chance to teach as much as they'd like. Good punt coverage by Bowling Green. Spot will be at the 30. James Sanford's been very good today on special teams. The head coach, Dino Babers, spent a lot of years at the Division I level as an assistant coach. And oftentimes the route then is to wait around for the head coaching job, which wasn't coming.
Right.
And after conversation with Art Briles about it, it's like, well, why not step down to a lower level and be a head coach there, prove yourself, and then likely you'll get a call, and that's exactly what's happened to Babers. In fact, it only took a couple of seasons at Eastern Illinois, and the world was able to discover what it needed. Now a breakaway here. Ross Comas on the throw to Elgin Long. Big gainer for UMass. Well done.
Not going to give up, continue to do it. Comas delivers a nice ball here, and nice running after the catch. Thought he was tackled back there.
Comas the throw again, shooting one toward the end zone.
You were mentioning Dino Babers is a coach here in the MAC. So many coaches in the MAC have gone on to coach FBS level. About 20% of the coaches, I was reading in the MAC notes, about 20% of the FBS coaches now have coached in this conference.
It's interesting, too. The MAC philosophy is to promote that fact and not be shy away from doing just that. Single coverage, touchdown. Penalty flag on the play. We'll see what it's all about.
Boy, Comas was just annihilated back there at the quarterback position that time as he let the football go.
Pass interference. Defense number 22. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Dan Jonah with a reception from 25 yards out.
Well, he said The accuracy of Matt Johnson on the long ball, and boy, Comas delivers that under enormous pressure for the touchdown strike.
Second touchdown throw of the year for Comas. Redshirt freshman from Madonna High School in West Virginia. By the way, you're a West Virginia guy. Do you know where that's at?
Certainly do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Far from you?
Yes, it is.
We have now reached the 100-point total for the game. I don't think anybody still watching is stunned.
We're certainly not. We thought we'd get this, and watch Comas just take it right in the chest here as he delivers a perfect strike, and look at that one-handed catch.
Pretty good stick by Nate Locke, who stepped in for Austin Valdez, who was ejected for targeting back in the first half. But Comas got rid of it. Jonah and the touchdown. So some solace for UMass late in the football game. You don't suppose we'll see an onside kicker, do you?
I don't think so.
This game now 3.5 hours long. I don't know, John. All you need is 3 scores and 3 two-point conversions, and you're right there. UMass decides to kick it deep, about 2 yards in. Let's look ahead for both teams. UMass will drop to 1-4. What grabs you immediately about the fact they've got Kent State coming up on October 17th for homecoming, and what they must do to flip this season.
Well, you know, you just got to build. This is a game that they had circled. They knew that this championship through the East comes through Bowling Green, and if they're going to have an opportunity, they needed to win this football game. So, you know, can you regroup? It's going to be a very good, as I said before, Kent State has a very good defense, so they're going to have to regroup and do it in a hurry.
Now, right after that, UMass will face Toledo on October 24th at home. Bowling Green, by the way, it's got a game coming up on October 17th with Akron. That will be here. And the Zips put 40 on Eastern Michigan in the first half.
Should be pretty interesting. Looking out to November on the 17th. Toledo coming in here.
Ineligible downfield. Offense number 89 was covered up on the line of scrimmage and went downfield on the pass. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, one thing Bowling Green can do better is clean up the penalties. There have been way too many today. Under 2 minutes. Empty backfield for Kanapke. Delivers a strike to the 20. 6 more yards after the catch, up to the 26. Trevor Roop with a catch. And the Falcons now officially have the total yardage record for that's long-standing history. Over 706.
Yeah, they actually almost, they picked up the tempo a little bit versus running the clock down. They really seemed to know they were on the edge and wanted to make sure they got to that mark.
It was about the only suspense remaining in this football game.
Yeah.
Down to a minute. 10 different receivers with catches today, 5 for touchdowns. And it sounds like a typical Bowling Green day, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Falcons in the month of November, playing in the middle of the week on the ESPN networks. We'll see Ohio, Western Michigan, And that
Timeout.
aforementioned showdown with
Bowling
Toledo.
Green. This is a 30-second timeout.
Also play late
This
in
is the
November
third and
at Ball
final
State.
charge timeout.
Bowling Green taking a timeout here, letting the clock run down as far as they can, and that's exactly what was happening. Once they knew they were close to that record, picked up the offense a little bit, got another couple first downs, and then really slowed it down again.
As the Falcons look ahead, any liability in their game?
Right now, I don't see it. I mean, unless their defense gives up points against somebody that runs the football well against them, but offensively, I just think they can outscore people right now. So you got to give them a lot of credit. Putting 62 points on the board, I don't care who you're playing against, that's a lot of points, and they were very efficient in doing so. This offense under Matt Johnson had possessed the ball 11 times, had 8 touchdowns and a field goal, 1 punt and 1 interception. That's pretty efficient.
Bowling Green now 4-2. And UMass dropping to 1-4. That's the head coaches, Dito Babers and Mark Whipple. Last year, a 5-point game decided by less than a touchdown. Today, it was a rout. And Matt Johnson, starting quarterback, led the way with 5 throws for scores and just 1 interception, 382 yards for the most game. And in fact, he wound up with a total of 450 when it was over. John, safe travels to Miami next week.
Same to you.
For John Gregory, I'm Jim Barbers. So long from Bowling Green, Ohio, and the Doit, as they call it, Doit Stadium, where the final score was 62-38 in favor of Bowling Green. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.